It says we're live. Good morning, good afternoon, good
God
evening.
damn it, JL.
Do not do that. Jesus.
All you terrible lads and lassies, the best kinds of lads and lassies.
Oh, that's a lot better. But
How's it
now
going, everybody? How's it going, everyone? Thank you so much for joining us. Sorry for the delay. We were dealing with some technical issues. And, of course, we're waiting on Irish Demon as, pretty much we're all waiting on Irish Demon. I hope everyone's doing all right this morning. And this is the Four Beardsmen of the Apocalypse. With me, as always, Johnny O from the Plot Hole.
Hey.
And my man, PH Swinging D Tony.
hello, everyone. I hope you're well. Great to see you all.
And up above me in the screen, you can see is Irish Demons.
Irish Momo.
But before he gets his face on.
Yeah, that's right after he wakes up. It's Irish Momo.
Just says Seaman Demon, yep. off with a flyer there. She's in top form.
Oh, hey,
hello, Amy.
Signa stuff. Amy,
yeah,
Amy,
see.
Prime Red, Chris Durham, Tanner, Jess, all of you awesome people.
Yes.
Look at these amazing people in here.
Yes, congratulations to PH Swinging Dick Tony with his 1,000 subscribers. Look at you. You put out 5 videos and you get 1,000 subscribers twice. Not once, twice. JL and I, we can't even scratch 1,000. You do it twice.
You're way ahead of me, Johnny. I mean, seriously, you're like super ahead of me. So.
Well, as soon as you put out 5 videos like PH Swinging Dick Tony, you'll be at a bazillion twice.
Yes.
By the way, I'm working on your latest. I hope you like the intro stuff that I've done. I really think you're gonna like it.
I have no doubt. I'm gonna.
It's right up your alley.
Is that a clue?
No. It's
like Thomas and Martha Wayne up my alley.
No. Jesus Christ. It's too early in the morning for that shit. No, it's not. No, I think it hits on all the type of stuff that you like.
Awesome. That'll work. And I have no doubt. Thank you so much for helping me get that out while I'm getting my stuff sorted out around here. Oh man, there's my lovely mistress. Good morning.
Mistress. Hey, Magda.
Hey. And Metal
Vet. What is it? Is that like a music fixed dogs thing, or is that like I have metal in me from the war type thing?
He makes cybernetic animals.
Would that be the TK9000?
There you go.
That's a bad joke. It's so terrible.
Oh man. So, well, we're waiting on Irish because Irish is currently stuck in traffic or is doing something when he should have been in front of his computer ready to go. How's everybody been doing this past week? Johnny, how you doing?
It's been. Sorry, was that Johnny or Tony?
Oh,
Johnny.
Okay.
Okay. Sorry.
No, you're good. I couldn't hear either. It's been a week. We're not even talking about Facebook or YouTube or Twitter or social media, none of that shit. I mean, I had somebody quit on me, so I work all the time now. All I do is work. I'm tired. I need a nap. But yeah, so Jess says, so you're pregnant, JL Warren? Ooh. She says she sees the baby on board.
Yeah, I showed the full.
Oh yeah, with the alien one. Okay. Yeah, that one's cool.
Yeah.
Alien. Okay.
But yeah, that's all that's been going on with me. Is just a whole bunch of work. I put out a video last Friday. I got another one coming up Monday. Unpopular opinions. We'll see what happens.
And Tony, how are things in the land down under?
Well, they've been interesting. It's been something of a roller coaster in the past couple of days. So hopefully it's going to settle down. I released a new science video last week about pressure gradients, and now we can move on to why we don't need a container. We've got all of the groundwork in place.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
I feel smarter when I watch your videos, even though I know that I'm not going to retain any of the information because I don't know what it is.
Yes. I did have somebody who disagreed with the videos, seemed quite knowledgeable about thermodynamics, and I thought, oh, well, I reviewed for that quite intensively. So I went to Clive Wells and I asked him, did I get it wrong? And he said, no, that's fine. And I told the guy, and the guy said, that's an appeal to authority. I'm going, well,
what?
You know, and you know, well, he said.
Peer review is an appeal to authority?
No, that's not.
It's something like that. And then I got Phil Bell to look over it, and he said, great video. And I'm just going, you know, so... and this guy was still arguing the toss with me, and I'm just going, this is a really interesting experience. You know, he was throwing around equations and knew what he was... and seemed to know at least the basics, but it seemed to me like he'd studied this at undergraduate level perhaps 30 years ago or something like that.
That's funny.
Anyway.
Oh, shit.
Yes, Officer Clive Wells of the Nerd Police Department. Yep. That would be him. Sorry. I forgot to include his rank. Yeah.
Jess is going to be running around giving all four of us the atomic wedgies.
The atomic wedgies.
Oh, I have no doubt about that. My shit is still ripped from last time.
So, would you guys have considered yourselves nerds or geeks at school?
It didn't matter whether I considered myself a nerd or a geek. Everyone else did, so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was a semi-popular nerd and geek, though. Not because I wanted to be, because I didn't like those fucking people. I hated high school. Most of the people that I went to high school with were a bunch of snot-nosed, rich fuckers that I just didn't like them.
Okay.
See, this is such an interesting conversation because when I was in high school, I was considered an outcast, or a loser or something like this. So there was that group of kids that nobody wanted to really have anything to do with. We didn't belong to really anything. And whereas I did play football, I was in wrestling, and there were a few other extracurriculars that I was involved with. Outside of like just going to those events, I didn't really involve myself with those people, and I really had my circle of friends, which were the people they were the kids that were doing drugs, the kids that that cut class all the time. A couple of them were dropouts. They were in school suspension all the time. So just that was that kind of group. People left us alone. People because a lot of us were quick to anger, and so I was in that group. Now. But beyond that, I would consider myself a nerd because I think that can cover the blank because you've got nerds, you've got geeks, and you've got techies.
Okay.
And techies, they love the computers, anything technology. That's what their nerddom is that they're big on that. Geeks are ones that are like super knowledgeable about specific things.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and nerds is kind of like I think a catch-all, kind of because I don't fall in either one of the categories. Because I love technology and I'm aware of it. I work on it a lot, and I'm also super knowledgeable about things. So I'm a big geek about certain things as well. So I think I'm a blanket nerd.
Okay.
That was a really, really long explanation to that question.
That was a really, really long. Yeah, I wasn't.
Well, it's important to have these. It's important to have these distinctions.
Yeah.
I guess context
right.
is key.
I'm sure.
Who is this bunch of nerds on my screen?
You must have a fucking plethora of pictures of you on your screen then.
All I can say is that the bullies at your particular school must have been particularly slow if you had time to get all of that out before being shoved in a locker.
Well, I was a big guy, so I never got shoved in the locker, but I did get like dunked in the toilet a few times and caught out in the parking lot a few times.
I never lost a fight in my entire life because I was really fast. So when somebody was like, "Hey, you," I was gone.
I don't believe that for a second.
I was fast as shit.
I was slower than
I
fucking
was in
molasses
trouble.
in January going uphill. So I had to, I had to be able to step on people's kneecaps backwards.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
me was always getting into scrapes. So, misspent youth, getting into fights all the time, getting in trouble with the law, winding up in ISS for like weeks at a
Okay, I'm
time.
going to share a story with you guys. Speaking of it's kind of funny you bring up ISS and fighting. My freshman year, I think it was my freshman year in high school. I was, my parents had divorced, and there was a nasty divorce, so the kids kind of got whatever. I was very angry with the world, not the jovial guy you guys see and interact with on a daily basis, but I was very pissed off at the world. Didn't like anybody, and when I had bad days, I had really bad days. I woke up one morning and I was in a shit mood, and I knew I was in a shit mood, but I still had to go to school. So I made a promise to myself that I would put my head down, go to class, if I could not say a word to anybody, just do what I was supposed to do and go home. And I had managed to do that throughout the entire day. Last class of the day was algebra. Now, this was a subject that I struggled in just regularly. But for this particular day, the teacher gets up, he does his thing, and he says, there's like 20 minutes left of class, and he finishes his lesson and says, all right, for homework, you need to do pages, whatever, problem numbers, this, that, and the other, whatever. I heard homework. So I wrote down what I needed to do, packed up my things, and sat there quietly, just waited for the bell to ring. And the teacher looks at me and says, if you don't have the first 5 problems of the homework done, you're not leaving this classroom. And that set me off. I looked at him and said, you want to bet? So that's all I said to him. So I stopped and I stared at the clock and watched it tick all the way down. The bell rings. I'm the first person to the door. And this jackass thinks it's a good idea to get between me and the doorway. I looked at him and said, you need to move, and you need to move now. He didn't. So I dropped my shoulder, lifted him up, and threw him out of my way, across the hall into the lockers. I was done with him. He was out of my way, so I started walking down the hall. This jackass gets up, runs down the hall, puts himself between me and the exit, and starts chest bumping me. I said, you need to stop pushing me now. He says, I'm not pushing you. I'm not pushing you. I said, stop pushing me or I'm going to fucking punch you in the face. He said, I'm not pushing you. I'm not pushing you. I said, all right, cool. And I turned and I fucking socked him right in his goddamn jaw. His fucking glasses go everywhere. He falls down. He's down. I'm done with him, so I go to leave. He gets back up again and grabs my shoulder. I said, if you don't let go of me, I'm going to break your hand. I said, what part of this do you not understand? I'm not in a good mood. I don't want to be fucked with. I want to be left alone. I'm going to go home. I'll come back tomorrow and we can deal with this. But if you want a broken hand to go along with your broken glasses and your black eye, then continue to grab me. And just as soon as I'm about to fucking let him have it, I see campus police coming. So I said, fuck it. I just turned around and walked and went straight to the principal's office and sat down. This motherfucker walks into the principal's office, knowing that he should not have put his hands on me, sits down and says, I shouldn't have done what I did. I should have let this thing blow over and talk to you about it tomorrow. And I looked at him in the principal's office and said, now? Fucking now you figured this out? You son of a bitch? The fuck is the matter with you? My mother wasn't too happy with me at that day. But for beating up my teacher, I was given 2 days of suspension and 3 days of in-school suspension. I got a slap on the wrist for beating up my teacher.
Nice. I'll tell you my story real quick about my mom's. So when I was about, I was in the last 6 months of high school, right? And I didn't show up most of the time. And I nailed my exams. I did really, really good in high school. And so
you did really, really well.
I did really, really, really good at well. I don't know why.
What, at digging wells?
Yeah. You see me with a shovel, man. Boom. One swoop. Well, there you go. So yeah, I did real good, lad. Especially I did real good in the English. But so yeah, for the last few months I just didn't show up. I just I had no interest. And I had my own car at the time. And my teachers rang my parents and said to my mom, John hasn't been coming to school for the last month and a half, 2 months. Can you sort that out? So my mom took my car keys and said, right, from now on, I'm driving you to work. So I'm driving you to school. So I was like, all right, okay. So I woke up one morning, did not want to go. I was not feeling it. And my mom was like, you're going to fucking school, whether you like it or not, you are going to school. So I was at the bottom of the hall of our house, in the east wing of the house. And she was at the other end of the hall. So, like, we only had a small house. So about a half a kilometer away at the other end of the house. And she was like, you're getting in that car. And I turned around and I said something that you simply don't say to an Irish mother. I said,
oh no, what'd you say?
I said, fuck you. And now, an Irish mother has this amazing ability to put, God doesn't exist, but she's able to still put that fear of God. She has created God and put that fear. And she looked at me down the hall, and I looked at her, and my eyes widened. I was like, uh-oh, I just made a huge mistake. So she's vacuuming, right? This is a story. She gets me to tell this story to people all the time. So she's vacuuming. She's got her hands on the long part of the vacuum and the big pieces on the ground or whatever. And it was a vacuum cleaner it was huge. It was like a fucking Ford Fiesta with a tube on it. And so she comes flying down the hallway towards me. I'm not kidding, right? She's running at me. She's holding the pole end of the vacuum cleaner, and she nearly got me, but the vacuum cleaner snagged in the plug and swung her back around like this, right? And I thought to myself, sweet, I'm in the clear. So I ran for the stairs, but as I was running to the stairs, she turned around with the pole part still in her hand, like fucking Luke Skywalker, and just went, and this thing went over my head. It missed my head by I'm talking a hair's breadth. It just went, when you just hear like a boom, like that, and it just right over my head. And she went back up for another swing. I was like, okay, I'll go to school, Mom. I never missed another day of school after that.
That's hilarious.
Who here is absolutely unsurprised that the punchline of that story is that things went over Irish Demon's head?
But I never ever missed it again after that, man. Well, luckily there was only like 2 weeks left, so I was like, I may as well not get my ass kicked for the sake of 2 weeks.
Is anybody going to be astonished by the fact that I do not have stories from my childhood that in any way rival these?
What? Really? Are you trying to tell us that you were a good, studious little kid?
See, I never got into it with my mother because my mother was sneaky. I think I bowed up to my mom once, and it's because my mother was pissed at me. I had done some stupid shit, and my mother and I were in an argument. My mother's actually smaller than I am, and she was shoving me, and she was like, you just like full blood, just like boom, like 2 hands in the chest, and she was like shoving me. I was like and she shoved me, and at one point she's yelling at me, and I'm just kind of doing the kid thing where you're just like, no, I don't know. And at one point she shoved me really, really hard, and I went backwards into the fireplace mantle, and I caught it like right in between my shoulder blades. I caught the edge of it right in between my shoulder blades, and it hurt like a motherfucker. And my reaction was I bowed up to her. Like I was like, like that, chest out, like, present yourself. And I remember the moment distinctly. I think I was 16 when I did this. So I bow up to my mom, and my mom just kind of like wilts back a bit. She's like, "Are you gonna hit your own mother?" In like the quietest tone you can possibly imagine. And I was like, and then I was immediately guilty. I'm like, no. And I looked down, big fucking mistake. Out comes that hand, pow! It hit me clean to the ground.
So you trying to tell us that your mom was Bruce Lee?
So I learned very early. Like, hey, Munchkin, morning,
Say
Jocelyn.
hi, everybody.
Oh, hey. Oh, I thought you talked to
Hi,
me.
everybody. Good morning.
And
Hi!
If I squared up to my mother like that, she would have kicked my ass. No,
it's exactly what my mother
if
did.
not, one of my brothers would have done it, and my dad would have probably laughed. Like I remember my younger brother and my mom were, they were out the backyard one day, and we were playing like, there's this game. It's hard to explain. It's when you train to play hurling, which is the Irish national sport. You throw a ball like it's kind of like it's a really, really hard ball. You throw it up really, really high, and everybody runs to try catch it out of the air, but you beat the shit out of each other to get to the ball. And so my mom is out the back garden with myself, my brother, and my brother's best friend, and they're all playing. And my brother was like, "Mom," he was like, "I'm telling you, if you're playing with us, I'm not going to go easy on you. I will kick your ass to get that ball." And my mom turned around, as serious as could be. I remember because she was facing away from me. I was sat on a bench because I'd broken my collarbone. And my mom turned around to my brother and just went like this. "You want to fucking bet?" She beat all of them. She's not a small woman, right? I mean, she was a big woman, so she was well able to kick some ass, man. Big time.
Everybody wants somebody wants Jocelyn to do the finger guns. So do finger guns, and you can go. What are you gonna say? What do you say?
Finger guns, baby.
You are so cute, Jocelyn.
My stream is stolen. She has stolen the stream.
They say you stole the
Yes.
stream, and
I
you're
thought
so
I
cute.
stole your stream.
Say thanks.
Thanks.
All right, you gonna go back to playing? What are you gonna do? You gonna sit here and you gonna be an honorary beardsman? Yeah. Okay. Okay, wait, let's see if we can get you.
He's more than welcome.
I am no longer the cutest beardsman.
There we go. Now we got a little bit of a beard going.
So I do have a childhood story to tell in terms of backyard sports, which is about my sister. My sister was about a year younger than I was, and I had a friend who played rugby league. She was a lot more robust than I was as a child. And so
I just didn't expect that word, and it just it caught me off guard. I don't know why.
More robust.
more robust, yes.
Was he
In
was
Ireland,
he,
right?
was he roomier than you?
Like you just say this,
Big
right?
through the
My
hip.
sister, she was
In Ireland.
big. She had, yes.
Girthier.
The nice way of saying that a lady is sizable in Ireland is she's a fine, strong woman.
A fine, strong woman. My sister was a fine, strong, young woman, and I had a friend who was quite an accomplished rugby league player, and we were playing rugby league in the backyard. He and I, just one-on-one, and he was considerably better than I was.
Sorry,
And
go ahead,
so-
continue.
And so my sister came out and said, "Can I play?" And my friend Michael's gone, "Sure, you can be on Tony's side." And anyway, so I've run up. Michael's shaped up to tackle me. I've passed the ball to my sister, and she's run off. And Michael has tried to tackle her, and he's jumped on top of her, and she's just kept on running. Like, after about 4 or 5 paces, he just dropped off, and she did the typical American football celebration, which is to jump up and down and then spike the ball. In rugby league, you actually have to take the ball and touch it on the ground.
Yeah.
And so that didn't count as a point. But anyway, Michael quickly worked out that Kerry needed to be persuaded not to play in this game anymore. So So he had the ball. So he's tipped it and he's run straight at Kerry as hard as he possibly could. And Kerry's lined up to tackle him, and she's looked away. And Michael has really lent into this. He's got his arm up. He's got all of his weight. He wasn't the biggest lad, it has to be said, but he's running full tilt. And Kerry's shoulder just slipped underneath his elbow, but above his knee, just into that gap there, just as he was trying to lunge at her, caught him right in the midsection. And she straightened up just as that happened. And from her perspective, Michael just disappeared. Like, but I was watching from side on, and what I saw was Michael go up, and I'm going, he's going to try and hurt my sister. And then Kerry's just, and he's bang right on the ground. Just dropped him. And on the ground. And Kerry's like, where is he? Where is he?
And Tony was in the corner with a calculator trying to figure out what his velocity towards the ground was.
I was just thinking that.
I'm gonna calculate how to kick your ass.
I have another story related to my sister in that regard, in the sense that we both joined Venturers, which is adult scouts, and there was a guy there.
How does that work? What is an adult scout? Is that what I think it is, or is it not?
It's a nice way of saying virgin.
So yeah, it's a nice way of saying. But so basically, scout covers you between 12 and 15, and from 15 to 18 there's venturers, and from 18 to 25 there's rovers. So we were in the 15 to 18 segment. And as our scout troop, by the way, our venturer troop, wore kilts. So there are photographs of me in a kilt out there in existence. I don't have any of them, so you're out of luck. But anyway, there was a guy there called Andrew who basically lived via physical intimidation, and you know, he was just bigger and more solid. He wasn't that fast, but he was just big and strong. And anyway, we had this game that didn't really have many rules, but it was kind of like rugby. You had to get the ball to the other end of the hall that we were in, and we were playing it. And because Andrew tended to dominate these encounters, some of the women in the troop got bored and would start playing with the lights. Anyway, so Kerry got the ball and was running down, and Andrew lined her up. Andrew had her in his sights and was coming in to absolutely crush her with the ball, and somebody turned off the lights. And unfortunately for posterity, the next second and a half are lost to us. But when the lights turned on, Kerry was still running down the field, and Andrew Tate was crumpled in a little ball on the ground, clutching his groin.
Oh.
and Kerry scored a point. So that gives you some idea of where my sister is at. She is not a nerd, so she would happily join people in the nerd police department.
Yes. Prime Red says, so your sister was built like a brick shithouse. Is something that we like to say here in the States. But to answer Prime Red's question, yes, because he imagined my mother is like looking like me, only with long hair, and actually no, that's not the
case. You look more like your dad.
So it's actually really, really funny. So I have a brother. He's 5 years younger than I am, and Daniel is 6'1". I think he's 6'1". Or maybe almost 6'1", about 100. He averages about 185 pounds. He also played rugby. He played rugby for Clemson. We were both in scouts. He went scouts long enough, but the dude is very model looking. You know, he's just like, he's cut. He's just he's got great natural build, and just thinks he's so much better looking than I am, and he is. He's much better looking than me. He's a douchebag, but you know, that's just the way he is. I myself am 5 foot. I'm a little over 5'7",
Nah, you're closer to
I am
5'10".
and I'm nearly as no, legit. Like my legit height is 5'7.25" is my legit height. I try to come off as taller when people meet me. So, but I am actually quite short, and I'm almost as wide as I am short. So, and the big thing was that my father, before my dad passed away in 2004. My dad was 6'2", about 300 pounds when he passed. And he was just a big dude, just slab of beef. My mother is 5'7" and about 130 pounds soaking wet. So obviously a big difference between those two. Well, when my brother was born, my brother got my dad's height and my mother's build. And when I was born, I got my mother's height and my father's build. So, and now I got the beard out, I'm like fucking Gimli over here. And he's over there looking like goddamn Legolas. So there, the description of my family and just the hell that is genetics on occasion.
All right, somebody wants to show everybody something. So go ahead, show them. Tell them what you want to show.
Okay.
I lost some teeth.
You lost some teeth.
Oh,
now
really?
show everybody.
I lost two teeth.
2 teeth. See? All right.
Oh.
Are you going to go back upstairs and cuddle with mommy?
Yeah.
Yeah? Say bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. Take
Bye,
care,
Bridget.
Jocelyn.
No more beers.
Bye.
All right, sweetheart.
I have to say, when I was studying Japanese, one of the other students was 6'7" and 5 inches shorter than his mum.
Good Lord. Was his name Yu Darvish?
And
His mom was Shaquille O'Neal.
here's a story. Have I told you this before, that I tried out for the 2000 Olympics in Sydney?
Who did? You did?
I did.
For what?
Do you mean like a job in the cafe, or
No.
were you calculating something?
No. It was in Olympic handball, which is not a sport that gets a lot of coverage.
Is that what they call playing with yourself in Australia?
Olympic handball. Pass me the hand cream. I gotta go play some more.
That's an illegal hand cream. You can't use.
That's a performance enhancing hand cream.
Performance enhancing.
You're anticipating some of the elements of this story, actually.
You catch on fire otherwise from the friction.
So, handball is kind of like soccer, except you throw the ball. It's just brilliant. It's a brilliant sport. It's the best sport in the world. And I ended up playing it. And one of the ACT representatives was actually a previous Olympian. She had played in the Olympics herself in the basketball team. In fact, she had a bronze medal from coming third at the basketball. And she decided that she wanted to, she was no longer in contention for the basketball team, so she decided that she'd transfer over to handball. But she was actually the ball is actually quite big in handball. It's about yay sized, and in order to grip it, actually you rub resin on your hand.
And it's really starting to sound like playing.
And like I say, and she was allergic to the resin, so she had to wear this entire bodysuit, and she was like 6'3", and
full of muscle.
She was actually. I'm not sure that she was full of muscle. No, and that was a guy. But at the end of the season, we had the sort of end of season dinner, and she turned up. She turned up with her boyfriend, who was 6'9", and I was talking with actually one of my colleagues. who was a Japanese geophysics student, but also an extremely good handball player. And we were talking together with her, and then her boyfriend came up and stood beside her, and we both took a pace backwards.
See, giants are real.
And she's gone, is that some sort of short person reaction? And I've gone, well, I just don't want to be craning my neck like that. It's really uncomfortable.
You know, I tried out for the Olympics
No, you
once.
Did you?
Oh God. Here it
Yeah,
comes.
yeah. No, honestly, no, I did. I tried out for water polo, but the horses kept drowning.
I knew it was coming. I knew it.
Michael Raptor is wrong. Handball is the most awesome. I'm sorry, Michael Raptor. You're
Handball
wrong.
is a real man's game. It's a real tough guy game. You know, the toughest guy in school is the guy that plays handball. Fact.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm just telling you, it's
Yeah.
true. Hey, you know, I saw a guy walking down the road the other day with a fiberglass pole in his hand, and I said to him, "Are you a
It's just
Let me start again. Let me start again. I saw a guy walking down the road the other day with a fiberglass pole in his hand, and I said, "Are you a pole vaulter?" He said, "Nein, I'm a German. But how did you know my name was Walter?"
Oh, God.
And now we know why Irish Demon had to eat a whole bunch of hot sauce.
And
Yep.
I thought that the emotional violence in this community was restricted. I'm just disappointed in you, Demon.
And Irish Demon solidifies himself as the Steve-O of the four Beardsmen of the Apocalypse.
Yep.
Have you
So
guys
this
ever
has
seen any
been-
of Steve-O's stand-up?
I have
I
not.
have not.
I don't even know who Steve-O is.
From Jackass.
So,
What?
yeah, I barely know what Jackass
Well, that
is,
means you
so-
are better than we are, Tony. Because it is the dumbest shit.
It is the dumbest shit.
I mean, literally,
Although
it is
did give us
literally
Johnny
the
Knoxville.
dumbest shit. Okay.
It did give us Johnny Knoxville, and Johnny Knoxville is actually a really talented guy.
Johnny Knoxville I have seen in the film The Ringer.
Oh, such a good movie.
Oh, he was so
Yes.
good in that, man.
Which is-
Such a good.
which is actually a really, really good film.
Hey, my friend
I-
here has
I-
my friend here has an IQ of 85. We can park here, right?
Yeah, Brian Cox was great in that film. All right, here we go. So
Oh, man,
speaking
it
of
was such a fun-
speaking of the Ringer,
He
hang
is
on a
awesome
second.
in
Speaking
every-
of the Ringer, what's the best line in the Ringer?
Tard is
Probably
politically
scratch my
incorrect
CD.
now. When did Tard become politically incorrect? That's the line that I remember from Brian Cox.
Mine was when the
Get
fuck
out in broad daylight.
what?
You scratched it.
Mine was when the fuck did we get ice cream?
Oh,
Just because.
yeah.
Oh man. Nerd Angle says this is as bad as Bob Safety's stand up. No, Bob Safety is actually funny. Than Steve. Oh.
Okay. So I will.
Remember, the space is
will-
for handicapped people. You're handicapped for physically handicapped people. Hey, my friend here has an IQ of 85. We can park here, right? He's such an asshole.
He's such an ass.
Hey, you know the way Tony was talking about really tall people?
Yeah.
You know what the name of the fear of giants is?
Why you are an idiot?
Yeah.
Fee-fi-phobia.
But
I think my headphones are broken.
why is nobody laughing at my joke?
Hold on, I know what's wrong here. I've got to explain it. That's why.
You, an Irishman, just told a joke that is based around Englishmen, right?
It's a good
Yeah,
point,
yeah.
actually. I've got a lot of those, but I think we would be nuked from YouTube if I went into my Englishman jokes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I forgot to put water in my coffee machine this morning, so I put Red Bull into it. I was halfway to work before I realized that I forgot my car.
Did I?
Thanks.
So
Thank you for the pity laugh. I appreciate that.
I
But
studied.
Go ahead, Tony. Sorry.
I worked for a while in Sweden, and one day, um, uh, uh, the I was I was out in the dendrochronology laboratory, which is this little tin shed out the back of the main um, uh, uh, environmental geochemistry
Does that have
department.
something to do with trees?
Tree
Yes.
time.
Okay.
Yes, it dendrochronology is based on telling the age of something wooden by the rings inside it, right?
It's also the act of making somebody fall asleep immediately. Don't learn whatever the fuck that's called while you're driving. That's all I'm saying.
PhD Tony's
can't even
next
say
video.
it.
And now for dendrochronology. So you take the wood.
You're making it sound much more exciting than it was. Anyway, we were in this little tin shed out the back, and they were they're playing with our wood. Actually, it was only the dendrochronologist who was playing with his wood. The others of us had to pretend not to notice and focus on our computers. Anyway, they were replacing.
You
guys
broke
make-
Jail.
So
I'm sorry, I thought he fell asleep.
so
Oh Jesus!
anyway, so in the main building, they were replacing the carpet. So that building was closed for the day, and my supervisor said, "Look, I want to come into work tomorrow, but I won't be able to go into my office. So you need to be in at work early to make sure that your office is open, so I can come in and work in the dendrochronology building and ignore the person who's examining his wood." Anyway, so I woke up. So before I went to bed, I made a point. You have to be up early to be in there before your supervisor to let him into the building. And so I woke up, and it was fucking. The sun was high in the sky, looked like goddamn midday, and I picked up my watch, and it's gone 11 o'clock. The big hand near the top, the hour hand pointing just to the left of it. I've gone, holy shit, it's 11 o'clock. God damn it, my supervisor's going to be so pissed. So I skip breakfast, rush out of the house, wandering along. I have to walk all the way from where I'm staying across to the university through the center of town. And I'm going, it's kind of quiet today in the middle of town. Like, is this a holiday? Is that why they're replacing the carpets today? Maybe that makes sense. And so I continue on, and I get to work, and I sit down and I log onto my computer, and it's 6:30 in the morning. My watch didn't have any hours on it. It was actually 5:30 when I woke up. I just had the watch upside down, and I didn't have my glasses.
Dumbass.
And because I'm in Sweden, of course it is blaring sunlight at like 5:30 in the morning in the middle of summer. And so I'm there at 6:30 in the morning, having skipped breakfast, having to wait there for another 3 hours for my stupid supervisor to arrive.
So,
and you know what I learned that day?
I think I do.
What was
Playing with your wood makes you go blind.
might be that.
You're gonna break jail. He's gonna explode. I'm like,
Oh, I'm so sorry for that second one. For the second one, I put the headphones back in, and all I heard was playing with their wood. I was like, I just fell out. So, shit. Oh, what did you learn, PhD Tony?
I learned that learning Swedish is fucking pointless. Because later on in the day, there was a knock on the outside of the door, and there was a person there, and And he spoke to me in Swedish, and I said, "Sorry, I don't. I'm still learning Swedish." And he said, "Oh, okay." So he switched to English, and he says, "Anybody in the main building?" And I said, "Actually, they're closed today. They're having the carpets replaced." And we had this conversation in idiomatic English for like 10 minutes, and before it occurred to me that this was a delivery driver, right? Speaking perfect idiomatic fucking English, was a delivery driver with no professional, with no undergraduate training, nothing. He just in high school, he spoke perfect English. Literally, you could pick him up, drop him in any English-speaking city, he could function perfectly. So, and it was at that point that I decided learning Swedish is just fucking pointless. No Swede I ever speak to is not going to speak English. It's just
When you say Swede, I tried to speak to a Swede before and it didn't speak English.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, it was a turnip. It's another name for a turnip, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, I've got a funny story that legitimately happened.
No, you don't. No, based
swear...
on extrapolation from previous experience, you do not have any funny stories.
Extrapolate that. I was going out for a hike this morning, and I genuinely could not find my camouflage backpack. I swear to God. I genuinely could not find my camouflage backpack. I thought I was the funniest shit. And I messaged Mrs. Demon. I was like, "Do you know where my backpack is?" And I've got a collection of backpacks. She said, "Which one?" I said, "My camouflage one. I can't find it." And she messaged back, "Ha ha ha, very funny." I was like, "No, seriously, I legitimately cannot find my backpack."
Do you want to know why I don't flip people off very, very often?
Why you don't what?
Flip people off very often. Why don't you what? Because of that.
You got 6 hands, 6 fingers.
No, it's the nature of my middle finger in comparison to the other ones.
We can't see it.
It's deformed.
Oh,
No.
Did you break it? You broke a finger?
Shit, look at that! I was expecting it to be webbed or something.
No.
I figured, all the time playing with your
Yep.
wood.
No, okay. Sorry, I was holding it too high and I couldn't see. No,
Did you hurt it? Did you hurt it when you were studying to be a geologist and you dropped a rock on your hand?
No, it was playing cricket. I was wicket keeping. And,
You broke your finger playing cricket?
A fast bowler didn't. Yep.
How do you even break your finger playing the world's slowest game? Like, it's the only game. It's like, okay, chaps, we're gonna break the tea, and then they go and they all have crumpets and stuff, and
they
then
come back and they play another 6 days.
So
watch it
remember that you are playing essentially baseball, where it is legal to hit the person with the ball.
Rightly so. Welcome to Ireland.
I was catcher, and somebody bowled a really fast delivery out to my right, and I tried to catch it and didn't quite make it, and it broke my finger.
So just like playing with wood, you hurt your hand after somebody delivered their balls to your hand.
I knew it was coming.
Yes, that's pretty much. That's pretty much.
I was trying to figure out how to formulate the sentence, and it didn't really go too good. Or is it too well, Tony?
It's too well.
Too well.
Yeah.
It did not go no good.
No good.
You know, it's funny. I actually have a degree in English, so every time that Irish speaks bad English, I have to like bite my tongue. Don't do it. Don't be that asshole. Don't be that asshole. And the PhD Tony jumps right in and says,
"Is this a regular fucking thing?"
All the time.
I am that.
All the time.
I am that asshole.
I am shit at English. It's my second language, so.
Particularly when Demon is talking about how well he did academically, it was just fucking.
I did really good.
It was irresistible. The timing on that was too good to pass up.
How do you spell that, Tony? How do you spell that too?
Sorry. How do I spell
when you
what?
said it's too good? How do you spell two in that sentence?
What do you mean spell it? It's a number.
T-O-O.
Very good.
Oh, this has been. Oh, I was laughing my ass off so much. I totally fucking spaced on anything.
I got a new fish tank today.
Fuck's sake, dude, you got a problem. You have a problem.
I put two. There was two fish in a tank. One turned to the other and said, "Do you know how to drive this thing?"
That's almost as good as there were two muffins in an oven, and one muffin looked over and said, "Man, it is hot in here," and the other one said, "Holy shit, a talking muffin!"
You know, I burned 2,000 calories today.
Overcooked your dinner.
That's the last time I leave brownies in the oven for too long.
You know these jokes. Okay, Johnny, let me ask you: Have I told my old man joke on stream?
I don't think so.
I think I told it to you on the plot.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
Okay, everybody's got this stuff, so I'm gonna.
Oh yeah, you told this joke about 40 times.
No, I haven't.
Yes, you have.
Have I told it 40 times? I won't tell it if it's. If
Oh
I've
wait,
told
no,
it.
I just checked. It was.
I knew that was
38
coming.
times.
I knew that was coming.
That's what she said. Oh, on fire.
Jesus.
Well, I won't tell it if
Tell
if
the
I-
joke, JL. Tell. Don't listen to Irish.
The funny part about this team is not what you're saying, it's that you think you're funny. That's what's humorous about
That's
this
all that
situation.
matters. That's all that matters. As long as I think I'm funny, I don't give a shit what you think. If I make myself laugh, which I do a lot, I've often sat there and just kind of went like, because I thought of something that I thought was funny to myself.
I will say, laughing is like sex. As long as I come or laugh, it's all that really matters.
Fucking A. So I used to think that orthopedic shoes wouldn't work, but I stand corrected.
Jesus Christ.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm going
Where's the crickets on the soundboard?
on Cheerio news in Kosovo.
It's being demanded that I tell this joke. Mike Raptor says, "Tell the fucking joke."
All right, guys. See you in about an hour and a half.
It's not that fucking long.
The fact that you have to say that it's not that long means it's that long.
It's that long.
It's not an hour long. But okay.
It's approximately that long. Okay, go on.
Hey.
All right. Once upon a time, there was a little senile old man who lived in a nursing home. And one day, being a little bit senile, he decided to let himself hang out. So one day, while the little senile old man was letting himself hang out, a little senile old lady came along, saw him letting himself hang out, and her being a little bit senile as well, asked, "May I hold it?" And the little senile old man said sure. So the little senile old lady and the little senile old man would spend their time together, and she would hold him. And this behavior continued on for a little bit until one day the little senile old lady approached the little senile old man, and she saw another little old lady holding him. Oh, this simply would not do. But being a lady of class, she decided to hold back, and she waited for the other senile old lady to get up and leave. And she approached the little senile old man, and she says, "I don't understand. You used to let me hold you, but now you let her hold you. What does she have that I don't have?" And the little senile old man looked up at her and said, "Parkinson's."
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Fucking hell.
Did I miss anything?
Nah.
So have
So
I
guys,
told you guys?
let me ask
Have
you-
I
oh,
told
sorry,
you
go
guys, mate? I want to tell my goddamn joke.
I
Oh,
thought
hold
we were...
on. Is this one
No,
gonna
no,
actually
we're not
be a
mature.
joke, Tony?
We are not mature on this channel.
This is actually going to be a joke.
I want to tell my joke. I want to tell my...
Anytime,
uh,
Tony, you're-
So, well, I was waiting for your permission. So, thank you for graciously conceding it.
Permission isn't worth
But
shit on this
now,
channel. It's
now
my
having
fucking channel.
now having said, have I told you my grand final joke?
a million and one times.
Okay.
I haven't heard it.
Shall not.
But it is one of my favorite fucking jokes, though. I've
Okay.
told that joke so many times since you told me. So please
Right.
do.
Okay, so it's grand final day. This guy goes to the big football match, and he ends up down the front, seated next to this old guy, and next to the old guy is an empty seat, and the game progresses, and he thinks, well, the old guy's friends, presumably going to turn up at some point, and the game progresses and progresses, and they get to halfway through the match, and nobody's come, and he leans over to the old guy and he says, "Is that seat yours on the far side?" And the old guy goes, "Yeah. That's usually my wife's seat. She and I we come every year to watch the grand final. We've got the same two seats and we sit here and we watch it. But she passed away, and so now I'm here on my own." And the guy goes, "Oh, that's terrible. But don't you have any friends or family who might be willing to come with you?" And he said, "Oh no, they're at the funeral."
That is a good one. That is a good one.
I still love that joke. I've told that joke so many times. So you all know about you guys all know who Karl Marx is, right?
No.
He's the least funny of the Marxes. Yep.
He is. His sister invented the starter pistol. Did you know that?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, her name was Anya.
Okay.
Oh, Jesus.
No, not Jesus. Anya. Like Anya Marx.
Yeah. We got it.
Yeah.
We got it.
Is it funnier now that I've
No.
explained it?
No.
Oh, well.
Actually, the starter pistol was invented by somebody famous.
Actually, I think I knew that too, but I'm just testing you.
The swivel chair was invented by Thomas Jefferson.
And welcome to the 20 facts that no one gives a shit about.
Oh,
Well, let's start. All right. I'm going to look up some random facts because it's kind of what I'm known for in my family.
but that's why you're alone.
Oh, that's why
Yes.
they were okay with you moving, across the globe.
To
yeah.
Australia.
Moving. They
Oh.
sent-
Oh, they shipped you out.
Okay with
get him out of the house.
as opposed to transported. Is the He's a remittance man. That's what we call them down in these parts.
Oh. Hmm.
A remittance man is somebody who gets a regular payment from their family, a remittance, as long as they stay out of the fucking country. Yeah. Probably not that common terminology anywhere else, but
Hey, the oldest your mama joke was discovered 3,500 years ago on an old Babylonian tablet.
I did know that.
That's an awesome, because you were fucking there.
Yeah, just ask Jess, she'll tell you.
Hey, Demon, send me that in
Oh,
Skype.
this is a perfect.
Send
Say
me that
again?
thing in Skype.
Oh yeah, I will. Tony, I found a picture of you in your scout days. It was not that hard in your kilt.
I don't think you did. To be
I
very-
fucking did.
I think you're making this up.
All right, you'll see.
I think you are going to show a picture of somebody else. And
Fun
claim
fact: unsurprisingly, 7% of American adults believe that chocolate milk comes from brown cows.
That's sad because it's true. I mean, not that it comes from brown cows,
Yes.
but that fucking Americans think that shit.
No, wait,
Yep.
no, that can't be true.
We don't want it to be true. Just like PhD Tony doesn't want that to be true.
Where is the original London Bridge?
In Arizona.
Isn't it
It's
Texas?
in Arizona. It's
Yes.
in Phoenix.
That's
Transported brick by brick.
So
What,
what
like
am I
one-
looking at?
Shit, it's taking
What
forever.
isn't true? I can't see.
There it is.
That actually looks more like Team Skeptic than it does me.
Did you guys ever hear of the? I want to get your opinion on this. This is a serious question. Very, genuinely
Okay,
very
what
serious
you got?
question. Have you guys ever heard of the Pinocchio paradox?
Yes, I have heard of it, and I can't remember the particulars of it.
So what happens? What happens if Pinocchio says, "My nose will grow now," because it's technically a lie?
It's one of the things, actually. So this is I am nervous. I'm nervous to go here because I'm aware that the nerd police are in. So this is what this feeds into something called Gödel's incompleteness theorem. It is not possible to come up with simple false or true statements in any logical language. There will always be statements whose factual structure can't be determined. This is Gödel's completeness theorem. You can look this up if you're so inclined. It's an important.
I am not.
It's an important result from formal logic that not every in any non-trivial logical formalism there will always be properly constructed statements that cannot be determined as being true or false. And it's a very elegant proof. It actually doesn't take very long. He did it as his honours thesis, and he was given a PhD for it. It's that impressive a piece of work. But anyway, Jess says, put the D20 down. I have a D20 right.
Yep, the D20.
Is D20 some kind of really dank weed?
No, it's a die. It's a die. It's a 20-sided die.
He knows what a D20 is.
Who, me? I have no idea what
You
the fuck
know
that
what
is.
a
You
D20
know what the
is.
fuck a D20 is. Come
I
on.
have no idea what a D20 is. Is it some kind of nerd
It's
thing?
a 20-sided die. So yeah, it's a nerd thing.
Oh, for Christ, dude! I spent my teenage years fucking. I did not have one of those.
You spent.
I'm
Wait a
telling
minute.
you right now.
Wait. You forgot something there. What you said was I spent my teenage years fucking. What you meant to say was I spent my teenage years fucking my hand.
And
fixed it
there's
for
a
you.
distinction here. How?
Oh lordy.
Here's another random fact from Fact Site. The average male gets bored of shopping after 26 minutes, which is approximately 25 and a half minutes fucking longer than I would last.
Say something?
No, I was just sitting here waiting for you, Tony.
Okay. No, good.
But
So,
yeah, that's generally my joke there, Irish, when somebody says, hey, do you know, like, people at school, at work would all, oh, yeah, man, you watch Dragon Ball Z? I said, no, guys, I fuck girls.
Yes. That's what I'm talking about. All I was interested in was cars and girls when I was a teenager.
You know,
I did-
it was possible to be a nerd and do nerd things and fuck nerd girls.
Yeah, and they were freaky, which was great.
No.
So
No, it wasn't. I can
Yes, it
testify.
was. Because this is what I did.
Not a
Well,
nerd.
Well, I have to say that sort of population density is a lot lower in Australia, and the population density of nerd girls is lower still.
Yes, there's very few.
It's a yeah.
But here's the thing.
So I just think you're making it up.
Nerd girls are. You know what? I'm not gonna finish that. I'm just gonna drink my tea.
Yeah.
Nerd girls are the best. That's all I'm saying. It's a fact.
Yes, basic trigonometry is correct. Some people have clearly never been to a Comic-Con.
I have been to a Comic-Con, but they don't have when I was growing up, there were no Comic-Con. So screw you, you privileged.
All right.
I
Not
tell you, I got more hands on my shit when I was cosplaying as Bane. And it was the one and only time I've ever cosplayed, and it was just like, God, holy shit. So
Yeah, I used to. Well, every now and again, I still do the.
I want to dissect that. So he got groped relentlessly while he was in the costume, and he's gone. And his conclusion was, "Well, I'll never do that again."
Yeah, that's what I
No,
was
no.
thinking. I was like, hold on.
One
I
and
would
only
be walking
time
around
that has
dressed as
happened.
Bane
He just-
all the fucking time if that was the case. That's all I'm
I
saying.
mean, really.
I would never not be Bane in that scenario. That's awesome.
I'm waiting. I didn't hear the negative part.
Yeah.
I was saying the reason. Okay, it wasn't at like San Diego Comic Con or New York Comic Con. It was at Dallas Fan Expo, which is an annual. I think it's a biannual Comic Con that they have here locally. And I went one time, and I've been several times before, but I only cosplayed once. And I went as Bane. The reason I chose to go as Bane is because I had the gear, I had the outfit, and I had the mask. And at the time I was in exceptionally good shape. I was able to like legitimately come off as Bane. And then when it next came around, I wasn't in the shape that I was in. I didn't feel good about myself physically, so I just haven't cosplayed since. If I ever get back into the shape that I was in, then sure, I could cosplay as Bane again, or I could cosplay as something else. But with my hair short,
the Blob, Kingpin, they're bound to pull the chicks in.
Jabba.
Jabba.
That was my nickname all last fucking week. Somebody called me
It
Jabba.
was.
I think. Who was it?
Clive
Was it
Wells.
Jess?
Clive,
No, it was Clive
no.
Wells. Clive, you
Clive
asshole.
Wells started that. Yep.
Called me Irish Jabba.
Yep.
Officer,
love that.
let's be formally correct. Officer Clive
Officer
Wells
Clive,
of the Nerd.
Oh yes, sorry.
So
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
so what I was gonna say is, every now and again I will moonlight as the kilted bartender. That's kind of the shit that I do whenever I need extra money. I'll go work private parties, but I get in kilt, and I can't count how many times women try and pull up the kilt to find out if I'm going proper Scotsman or not.
Scotsman, which obviously you are,
I mean,
right?
duh.
It's called going commando. Thank you very much.
Absolutely right. Did you ever see like how difficult it is to figure out which toilet to use in Scotland?
No.
Because the signs are the exact same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Think about it.
Yeah, that was about as funny as your other jokes.
Yep.
It's true. If you go to Scotland, there are genuinely signs.
Alien
where
X, you
it's
said you
doing
want
a kilt
pictures? Hang
and-
on a second. I'll get you pictures. Think I'm fooling around?
I've got my kilt here as well.
I still have my kilts. I have 3.
I bet you have a utility kilt.
I do have. We've talked about this before. I do have a utility kilt.
Oh, did we?
Yeah, it makes it
We
easier.
should
It makes it
kilt
easier
off.
whenever you're bartending to have pockets and shit. You don't have to wear the
That's a good point.
the fanny pack.
We should fanny pack.
Yeah.
You mean a
Yes,
Spartan?
it's better. Yes, I know. But we're talking to a predominantly.
We should kilt up when I come over there. We should.
Oh yeah,
kilt
for
up.
certain.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Full regalia. I'll bring some. I'll try to get my hands on some of my family tartan and bring it over. That'd be
Oh,
awesome.
dude, if you bring enough to make one for my fat ass.
Yeah, fucking
see
A.
here.
I'll try. If I don't get my family tartan, I can definitely get regimental tartan, which is orange, dark orange and green.
I need you to find. I need you
yeah.
to find the McAdams tartan. Yeah.
McAdam. McAdams were Highlanders, I think, so it'll be a
Yeah,
dark
they were
green.
Highlanders.
Should be red and green, I think, if they're Highlanders. I'm just trying to think because I actually have a fairly good knowledge of tartan, and because tartan comes kilts as we know them come from Ireland. The Scottish kilts, the tartans, they weren't actually an ancient thing at all.
No, that's
They
a
were,
modern thing.
It is, but it is taken from the clans of Ireland. The clans in the west of Ireland wore kilts, and we got that from the French Gaels from the north of France. Back in
Hello,
about,
operator. Operator, can you put me through to the nerd police, please? I believe I have an emergency. I'm being kept hostage by kilt nerds.
kilts are awesome, Tony. Just because you don't have a kilt, you fucking loser.
Well,
Where's your kilt? Where's your spurring? Huh?
I don't have kilt anymore. That's true.
Yeah, that's because you keep getting a breeze up your pussy.
Whoa!
What the whoa?
That's an old joke. Hey, I can find you macadam tartan. I think it's really close to the Irish tartan, if I remember.
I thought the
correctly.
Irish tartan was green and yellow.
Dark orange and green is the regimental
Oh,
army
okay,
tartan.
okay.
I'm just trying to. I can't remember what the Irish.
All right, so
The
here
general
comes one from a wedding that I did. This is from a wedding that I did. If I can make it happen.
Oh, that's Tony's picture in the middle, right?
Not anymore. Let me resize this here. Nobody wants to see that much Johnny O.
Oh, I found your tartan, and it's the same as my county tartan. Which
Really?
is pretty cool. And like Irish people are like die hard when it comes to their county. Like that's a big deal. Like your county is like a second country within your country, and you take great pride in your county in Ireland. So you'd be an honorary Corkman.
Sweet. It's coming, Alien X, I promise. Mistress Magda, yes, you can buy me to party. Yes.
I'll send you a picture of my clan tartan. I think it's quite nice actually. I don't have one. I should get one. The first picture is my clan tartan, and the second one is your clan tartan. And the third one is I'll get a picture of Cork tartan, which is my county tartan. So yeah, you can see your tartan's really close to my county tartan.
Yes, it is. PhD
I
Tony's.
think the Australian yellow, if I remember correctly, yellow and green and blue. The military tartan. I have one. I have an Australian military tartan kilt here somewhere.
Yep, so there you are. There's me in my kilted bartender getup. So yeah, that's a nice one there.
Oh.
And then of course, whenever I would play live, this is me live. Hang on.
That's cool. I like that. I've seen this picture of you.
So you weren't live in this?
No, when I'm talking about when our musically, like when our band would play. That's the reason why I say that. So,
Okay.
boom, there it is, right there. That was me rocking out with the old cocking out.
I don't see
Yeah, it's coming up. It'll be up in a second.
Yeah.
Takes a minute for the stupid live stream to catch up.
It's not good enough.
Oh,
Gotta pin that shit down.
dear, oh dear.
You
That
kind of
looks
look like
pretty- That's pretty
you kind of
serious.
look like if Kerry King had hair.
Kerry King used to have hair.
Yeah, no, I know. I remember when he did, but
Yeah, you look at old
Yeah.
Slayer. My goodness.
oh, I was listening to Slayer on the way home today. It's fucking rocking. Oh, my neighbors were so pissed.
It's always fun when you just there it is.
They're like, "Can you please turn down the music?" I'm like, "Can you rain in blood,
That's right.
motherfucker?" But yes, I shall turn it down. Sorry, Mr.
But yeah, there it is. That's me rocking out.
God damn it!
Back when I had hair.
I am such a geek.
Why do you say that?
Well, are there any pictures of me performing in front of large crowds? No, there are not.
Oh, I would show you a picture of me performing in front of a live crowd, but I can't find it. So
It's the fans only. Fans only.
it is
Only
only fans, and you know that full well because you've got it on your fucking screen tab. Don't lie. Well, yeah. You know what I gotta get actually, Johnny? When I'm
Of
back
course,
home.
I've got it on my screen tab. I've recently taken up being bulimic.
Oh, very
Oh,
funny.
Jesus.
Is that why you keep sending me those super chats? Bend over further. But I gotta get. You know what I'm gonna get when I go back home? I'll get my auntie. My auntie lives over in Glasgow. I'll get her to get us. What the fuck? What's so funny about that? You stupid.
It's Jess. Jess just put up this audio of PhD Tony though performing fellatio on Phil Bell.
Oh my god. Jesus.
Oh.
Clorox directly in the eyes, please.
Oh, man.
Oh God, one of the most outrageous things I've ever heard. It doesn't crack you guys up anywhere near as they keep on mocking me because I keep on going fanboy whenever Phil Bell comes into the chat because he's a cool dude. Leave me alone.
He's got a huge amount of knowledge.
Yep.
Yes, he does.
Yep.
Vast even.
Yep. Would you say? Yeah, I was gonna say. Would you say he has a girthy knowledge?
Phil Bell.
Oh man.
Sorry, Phil. Sorry, Phil's a legend. We had a great conversation the other day. He's a really, really cool guy. But yeah, what I'm gonna get when I go home, I'm gonna ask my auntie if she can send us over a few. There's a few. I'm thinking about getting a few Clydemores. Have you ever heard of Clydemore?
I have not.
I'm not talking about that.
I'm not.
So there's a few different names for it. There's like Thistle swords or Piper swords. They've got a whole lot of different names. They're basically it's a little what would you call it? So I don't know how to say it in English though. So we call it a skian dove, which is it means
it's a
black knife.
little dagger. It's
like a dirk.
It's a knife. It's a sock knife.
Like a
Exactly.
They used to be worn so that they could actually stab people while they were kneeling in front of them to give fealty. You had the knife right there. That's what I heard about it. That's the story.
Sounds
But
about right.
it's a knife you carry. It's a little.
It's a
thing.
dirk, like a
That'd be
dirk,
so cool.
like a dirk, right?
Yeah, so dirk you'd wear the dirk on your hip, and you'd wear the skian do or skian. I call it skian dove. In Ireland we say skian dove, and in Scotland they say skian do. We would wear that in our sock, and we'd wear the dirk on our hip. I think if I remember correctly, like they spell it differently in Scotland, but I'll look it up. But I think because of the story that Tony said there, the reason it's called a black knife is because of that very reason, that it was like a bad thing or something. But I'd have to look into it a little bit.
For those of you who are interested in linguistics, the duve that means dark, if duve means dark in that, which I'm assuming it does, that's the same word as in Dublin, right? Dublin means dark waters.
So Dublin, there's actually Dublin has two names in Gaelic. So the original name was Duvling or Duling, which means black pool, and the name that we call it in Gaelic is Ballyahaclia, which means the city of the games. But Duvling is the old name for Dublin, which then became the new English name. Because every town and city in Ireland has two names. You have your Gaelic name and you have your English name. And on our road signs, you have the English name on top and the Gaelic name below. So I come from my city is called Cork, and in Irish it's Kirkig. Or like the village I grew up in is called Connacht. And in Gaelic, it's Connacht, which means the meeting place. So all of the place names in Ireland have very specific meanings. So, like, for example, there's a town just outside my town called Knocknacoppel, and that doesn't have an English name, but in English it translates simply to the Hill of the Horses. Yeah, so it's just like
Is that the nerd police? I think I have a linguistic problem. I
Yep.
started off a discussion about Irish, and now Irish Demon is showing off he knows much more about this language than I do. What do you mean that isn't a problem? God damn it.
I think that's actually probably true though. But yeah, there's some really interesting place names in Ireland. We all learned about it growing up. Like, there's a formula for it. I can't remember what it is, but so like for example, you'll see if you were to travel the back roads of Ireland, and if you were to drive for about an hour, you would see maybe 20 or 30 towns and villages that start with the word Bally. Which in Gaelic is Balia, which means home or town.
Like Ballyhoo?
Like Ballyhoo. You could have like
Ballykissangel. Wasn't there a
Ballykissangel?
Wasn't there a television show called
There sure
Ballykissangel?
was. Yeah, on the television, yes. Ballykissangel. But yeah, so yeah, it all, and then like you'd have like Knock. So if you have a place called Knock something, you know it's going to be a hilly place. Or if you have like I'm just trying to think of another example. So one of the what was the other one? Shit, 2 seconds. Let me get back to you on that one.
Yeah, we'll just entertain people with our knowledge about. Let me tell you about lenition.
Okay, let's hear about it.
It's a fascinating. It's actually completely boring. So in Irish, if you see an Irish word that has a consonant followed by an H, that is a signal of lenition. And basically, as far as I can tell, it means that most sounds turn into a V. So D-U-V-H, for instance, just becomes a duv. As Irish is just saying with the scan duv.
So, like for example, there's an interesting thing where the word for big is more, which is M-O, and then there's a line over the O, like at the start of my last name, which elongates the letter. So it would be more, M-O-R, with a fada, which is the little line over the O. But if you were to say something is big, you'd say Tashe Vor, which is MH O Fada R. But then also the word for cold is Vor, so it gets really confusing. You've got to be, so if you're big cold, you're Vor, which is
so
awkward.
In any other chat stream, I would be absolutely laying them in the aisles with my technical knowledge of Irish. But this particular chat stream, I look like a complete gimp because Demon is here.
Compared to when. But it's true. So like you have MH is V, BH is V, DH is V. Oh no, it's not. It's something else. Anyway, it gets like my last name has in Gaelic has 7 letters, and it's pronounced OD, and that's it.
Yep.
But it's got 7 letters. It's because, like, the English letters, as it were, were pushed upon us by our neighbors, and our language just doesn't work. Like the letter X doesn't work in our language. So, in Ireland, it's not spelled T-A-X-I. Well, it is nowadays, but when I was growing up, it was spelled T-A-C-S-I. Is how we would spell taxi.
Yeah.
That's a perfectly reasonable way to spell it.
And I will say, I think the X in the English language is the most useless letter.
Well, I think that there are a couple.
You put 3 of them together, and then you can have a lot of fun.
But I don't like Vin Diesel movies.
That's
what I was talking about. And the beer, triple X. Or is it 4X? No, it's 4X.
It's 4X, yes.
Yep.
So apologize for being quiet because Irish was going on and you weren't boring me, but I was really, really curious about something. So I decided to start looking into some stuff, and because I realized that when you're talking about your clan tartans, I wasn't sure. I didn't know where mine potentially came from, and I started like digging into it from that direction. I never had done that before, and so apparently, because Warren, my last name Warren comes from La Varenne, which was the sandy area along, basically the people from the sandy area along the Varenne River, and that was but that traces back to O'Mernan. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly.
Just we
Irish, am I?
Mernan.
coffee.
Mernan,
No,
Mernan.
no, you're not. Yes. But don't
O'Mernan?
let us.
I need
Am I not pronouncing that right?
kids need breakfast.
So I would pronounce that O'Mernan, or I think modern they dropped the O. I think it's just Mernan these
Mernan?
days.
Camera.
Okay, then it was
But
the,
it can
the
go
O
both
with
ways.
the O with the little mark above it. You mentioned what it was
Fada.
earlier. Okay, yeah,
Fada.
and then which is connected to Clan Neil.
So from the north, yeah, probably.
So Neill.
There's a few different ways. So the O'Neills were the biggest clan. They were the High Kings of Ireland for a long time. So you would have been. I'm just trying to think. There was two O'Neill clans. There was one in the.
There's something underneath that. There's something underneath the Septs.
So all day.
Yeah, so the septs, the septs are like the groups of clans. So you have each different major clan would have a dynasty. So the O'Neills were a big dynasty. My family were a big dynasty. I'm just trying to think who else. I can't remember off the top of my head. So your clan would have come from. They were the kings of Tyrone, which is in the northern part of Ireland. The High Kings of Tyrone. So they were the High Kings of Ireland. The first one was a guy called Neil Glundove, I think. And so because he was the person that took over as king, the surname became so. All right, so when you've got an O Fada and then a last name, that means of the O'Neills. So you'd be, you would be JL if your last name was O'Neill of the O'Neills. Like I'm John of the ODs. So yeah, like Murphy, the name Murphy is an anglicized version of Omaraku, which is
so like Warren back in the day was actually Lavaren. So
yeah.
And so it would be jail of the Varenne, which was
Warren,
of that
exactly.
area by that river.
Warren, however, is a Norman name.
Yeah, definitely a Norman. There would have been a lot of Warrens in Ireland because the Normans obviously. They say about the Normans that when they came to Ireland, they became more Irish than the Irish themselves. So go away, or I will taunt you a second time.
A second time. I don't want to talk to you no more.
So Irish, would you like to delight the chat with what my surname actually means in Irish, in French? Sorry.
I would love to, and I have a picture for it, but it's not on this computer, unfortunately.
Right.
So Irish, to complete that thought. So
yeah. Sorry,
if I could trace that back through basically through the Septs, which are underneath Clan Neil. Does that give me something official, or am I just reaching too far back? Am I too far removed?
Yes, you're officially a nerd.
You are officially.
I wear the badge with fucking pride.
So, for example, right? So what happened? And this is one of the issues with Irish clan names, Irish family names. So my clan, Clan Ud from Dysart in the west, we were the first clan to have a last name, as far as I know, or at least one of the first to have a last name. And the problem is this, right? So let's say. Okay, so let's say your name is Murku O'Neill, right? So you're Murku of the Clan O'Neill, right? And so all of your family before you, your brothers and sisters, are all O'Neills. But then you decide, I'm going to become a chieftain. You become a chieftain in your own right. You go out, you start a war, you win the war, you set up your castle or whatever. Then I would become John O'Muraku, because now I've become part of your clan as opposed to us being part of another clan. So it gets really messy. But here's the thing. If you're linked to the Kings of Tyrone, which are in the north, the O'Neills, the O'Donnells, the O'Donohues, I think as well, all of that group, all of that family, there's a good chance that you are connected directly to them because they never lost until the English came. So they were really powerful. So there's a good chance that you're directly linked to probably the O'Neills or the O'Donnells, one of those big families. But yeah.
What if I'm related to the
O'Neills are
O'Hoolahans?
fascinating. The Hooligans were fuckers. The O'Hoolahans were mercenaries for the most part.
You know what we were good
That's
at,
where
though?
the term hooligan
Do you know what we were good at?
causing trouble.
Dodge, dip, duck, dive, and dodge.
Down. Did you know?
Were they part of the wild geese?
Mm.
The O'Hoolahans, I think, were the people who actually started the Gallo Glass, which were the mercenary soldiers in Scotland. The term hooligan that we have in English today comes from the Clan Hooligan, because literally they were hooligans. They were, for the most part, hired swords because they were quite a small family. They actually came from my area, and even all the hooligans I knew were assholes.
They're the ones that
So,
tore up Sherwood
always
Forest in
causing
the Kevin Costner Robin Hood film.
Yes.
Oh, really?
I want to thank you for bringing up that scene, because my favorite piece of trivia about that scene is that the sheriff of Nottingham calls in the Celts, who come in their tartan trousers with their lined hair. It would have been less anachronistic for him to whistle up a squadron of Harriers. The discrepancy.
So funny.
God damn it, Loxley! I'm calling in an airstrike.
Right, that's it. Reaper drone on the way.
Yeah.
It would have been less inaccurate if he'd done that. So fuck you, Hollywood, and screw you.
A Reaper drone, brother. Why a Reaper drone?
Because it's dull, you twit.
So
That is the one.
so
That is the one redeeming feature of that film. Is Alan Rickman,
Yes.
who makes everything, who made
Oh,
everything.
Alan Rickman is a master.
Yes.
Oh, he's the best.
So does that leave me too far removed? Not to claim anything, but to claim lineage.
No, not at all. Not at all. With the way it works, generally speaking, if you have so let's say you have a great grandmother who is a let me see, one of the Sept families, so one of the families below the O'Neill clan. You can claim either that Sept name, which I think most people do if the name still exists, because there are a lot of names that just don't exist anymore. Or you can claim the overall clan name. So my family were bosses, so I don't get that choice because we fucking won everything. So get this, right? We celebrated
Except for the
700 year-
genetic lottery in terms of face structure.
Absolutely perfect. That's what I'm saying. It's really well. Oh wait, I mean good. Fuck yourself, Tony. But so a couple of years ago, we celebrated the 700-year anniversary of the Battle of Dysart, which is where my people come from. So that's the castle in the photographs from when myself and Mrs. Demon got engaged. I'll send it to you in a second,
Right.
Johnny, to put it up. And so what happened was we got into a little bit of an argument with the High King's family, and they came from the biggest castle in the west of Ireland at the time, and they came to our lowly stronghold, but they didn't know that we had engaged none other than the hooligans. I think I told you about this before, Johnny. None other than the hooligans themselves to basically be double agents. So the High King at the time, I can't remember who it was, I think it was the Boyles, sent out the hooligans to go mess us up. The hooligans sent back word to the stronghold saying, yep, we did the job, come along, claim your castle. And when they did, we were all there waiting for them, and we kicked the shit out of them. And then we went and we burnt down their castle, Bunratty Castle. And so, yeah, we celebrated the 700-year anniversary of that. And without that one massive battle 700 years ago, I probably wouldn't be here, because one of my ancestors would have probably been slain. And I wouldn't be here to make fun of Tony. It would be 3 beardsmen. It would actually not be 3 beardsmen. It would be 2 beardsmen and
It would be-
Tony Fluffface over there. We should change the name. The 3 beardsmen.
To 3 beardsmen and a fluff face.
And Tony inside of a pillow face over there. It's like he went to shave and just left
Let me
foam
just
on.
fluff it. basically, I don't
I've seen
have the
more
willpower.
hair on an egg. That's all I'm saying. I've seen more hair on an
It's
egg.
only because it blends in with his skin
It's
color.
a fair point. Yes,
That's
that's
right.
true.
Translucent.
Are you saying that my beard is pink? Is that what you're saying?
Is
Yes.
pinkish.
You know, I'm still kind of hurt that Tony, you refuse to grow your beard out longer than that peach fuzz.
That's
you
because
got.
he's a chin strap. Let
Well-
him be. He's a chin strap. It's good.
I am a chin strap. I'm afraid I just it gets uncomfortable to me, and I just go, okay, I'm shaving all of this shit
Yellow
back.
belly.
Yeah, that's me. All right.
But so when it comes to the Purcells were they're actually a very interesting family through history. I grew up with a lot of Purcells actually because they were involved. So, all right, briefly. So Strongbow was a kind of a Norse Norman. He was of Norse descent from Normandy, and he came to invade Ireland in the 12th century, and there was a little bit of fighting at the very start, but we realized very quickly if we have this massive military power of people who we already kind of get on with, which was the Vikings, come over and bolster our military might, then we might not have too much of a problem. So us and the Normans got on really well. One of those families was the Purcells. And Purcell means little piglet. So Tony's
Little
our
pig,
resident
let me in.
That's yes.
But
Little
the,
Wolf has already done that joke. Thank you very much.
The Purcells were in County Tipperary, which is, in my opinion, besides my noble county, the most beautiful place on the fucking planet. County Tipperary. When you guys get to Ireland, I'll bring you there. It's
Okay.
amazing.
You'll take us there.
So the Purcells.
Son of a bitch.
No, well,
Fucking.
I
I will
think
bring you there. I will bring you.
Yeah, probably neither. I really think that I really want to visit Ireland, and actually, my branch of the Purcells comes from Cork. That's where we embarked on our Australia. So, I was all because my sister.
Castle. Let me just tell you this real quick because I will forget. I will forget the name. There's a castle in County Tipperary, and I am 99% sure it was the Purcell family home in Ireland at the time, and it's called Lochmore Castle. It's a beautiful Norman ruin, absolutely stunning.
Yeah.
And I am fairly confident that was where the Purcells lived at some point. So it's near. The only reason I know about this is it's near Templemore, which is where I did my police training. Templemore is where everybody does police training in Ireland. And we used to go out to the castle just for days out or whatever. And I'm almost sure that it was the Baron of Lochmore, which was a Purcell, I think. But
Right.
I have to look it up. I think it's Lochmore. I'll do some investigation here. My nickname is 23andMe at this point because
Because you got 23 dicks in you?
correct.
That was where I was going with it. But no, so I do want to mention that we are going to air a special video this evening. I do want to warm the crowd up to that particular concept. Jessica G has made a video, and I, for one, think that it's a really valuable contribution to the community as a whole at this particular point in time. So we're working. There was a suggestion that we might lead out with it, but we decided in the end we needed to warm you up, which is why we have been consistently plugging the same message throughout this train wreck of a conversation. If you can work out what that message might be, please let me know in the chat because I have no idea. But yes, video, and it is. I cannot stress enough how much I value Jess's contribution, both as a participant in the chat, and if this is an indication of the caliber of the video she's going to produce, It is just amazing. So there you go.
Amen.
We don't need to do that now, but it's a really good video, and I hope you guys enjoy it.
Absolutely. Before we go on to that, I did do a very quick check, and yes, Tony is the 16th Earl Lochmore. So it's actually not Lochmore. I was wrong. It's Lochmole. So that would be. Hold on a sec. Let me just check. I think it's from the 13th century. So yeah, it was given to the. It was built by Theobald Fitzwalter. So if you ever see a name that's got Fitz in it, which is very common in Ireland, Fitzgerald, Fitzwalter, whatever, Fitzpatrick, that automatically means that it's a Norman name. So if you've got Fitz or De in front of it, so the surname, very well-known Irish surname Burke, is actually a Norman name, De Burke. Or Lacey, which is a very common Irish name, is Deloche, which is another. De Lacey is the anglicized version of Deloche, yeah. So it was given to the Purcell family by James Butler, who was the Earl of Ormond, and so he was the most powerful man in Ireland at the time. And so since then, the current Lord is Sir Hugh Purcell. And so it goes all the way back to the first Baron of Lochmole, which was Richard Purcell in 1328. So there you go.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's still there. The stronghold is still there. It's a beautiful castle, really, really beautiful. I'll send you the link to it. So yeah, that's your clan's castle.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Than ours.
I have to say I really want to go to Ireland, but I'd also really like to be able to do it in your company, JL's or Johnny O's, if any of them are interested.
We should do it. We should do it. Once the Rona is done and over and done with, we can all meet in Ireland. It would be fucking awesome. Because I'm telling you, like, I've been to a fair few countries, and it's always been great fun and amazing and everything. And it's not just because it's my homeland, but I think anybody in the chat who's been to Ireland, I know Daniel Pratt's water heater has been to arguably the roughest part of Ireland, lived there for a long time. Very interesting story. He lived in Belfast during the Troubles. But Ireland is one of those countries where no matter where you go, no matter who you meet, it's like you've known them your whole life. Like when I was home the last time, I have to say the juxtaposition between Australia and Ireland is unbelievable. Like you go into a shop, you chat with people who work there, if you're waiting in line, there's always a comment from somebody, there's always a chat and a bit of banter, and it's and like Aussies are super friendly, and I love this country, and I think the people are awesome. But in Ireland, it's different. The warmth is different. It's like it's kind of like, I don't know. It's so hard to explain. I know it's that kind of stereotypical friendly Irish thing, but it's true. I mean, you go to any pub in Ireland, and when you walk in, there might be a little bit of who the fuck is this guy, because it's the same people being in the pub for 20 years. Yep. And then you sit down and you go, like if Tony was to go to the pub in Templemore, the Arms in Templemore, for example, people might go, oh, who's this guy? And you go, oh, I'm a Purcell. My people used to live in that castle over there. Oh, I know someone who's probably your distant cousin. And, oh, this is Jimmy Purcell over here. Come over here, Jimmy. Like, that's the way it is. And there's something I miss going into a pub that's 400 years old, literally 400 years old.
And it's one of the
fire.
It's one of the things that I really want to experience. Having grown up in a country where basically recorded history doesn't extend more than 200 years, and the oldest building I've been in is like 150 years old. Yeah. It's just incredibly different.
It's something I miss. Like I'll give you an example. Myself and Mrs. Demon, not long before we moved here, we lived in a house that used to be an inn, and it was first established as an inn in 1954, and that wasn't even the oldest. That wasn't even the oldest building in the street. I
In
mean,
the street. Okay,
yeah,
nice.
yeah. I mean, it's remarkable. And like, so for example, there's a Starbucks in my city that's in a building that is older than the Republic of Ireland by 200 or 300 years. It's amazing that you can. There's a pub called the Sextant in Cork, and it's, I think it's the oldest or the second oldest pub in the world. And I let me just check. There was some really famous people stayed there. But to be able to walk into a pub that was there when Sir Walter Raleigh brought potatoes to Ireland is
Right.
amazing. You know, I mean, that to me is just, so to be able to sit in a pub that Sir Walter Raleigh sat in. I sat on Sir Walter Raleigh's, well, not his bed, but the area that his bed was. I used to go to school and walk past the church that Sir Walter Raleigh prayed in every morning, and where he first smoked tobacco. This is a really, I think you guys will like this story. So when Sir Walter Raleigh came to Ireland first, he brought tobacco and potatoes, and he had a pipe, obviously. And there's a cathedral called St. Carthage's Cathedral, really really old, beautiful cathedral, tiny little one. And he was smoking in there, and a lady who was washing the floors poured a bucket of water over his head because she thought he was on fire, because they'd never seen somebody smoke before. And yeah, teachers love telling that story. It's an amazing thing.
The oldest we have here in America is the White Horse in Rhode Island.
Oh, that was the name of our local.
Yeah, it's been in operation since 1673. It still is in operation. Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yes.
Yeah, but
So
apparently
Clive-
I have connections to Shane Castle from my research, is what I've discovered.
So Shane Castle.
Shane's Castle, the castle at oh, you're gonna kill me if I mispronounce this. Edinduff Carrick?
Oh, Edinduff Carrick, yeah. Edinduff Carrick means I think it's the place of the Black Rock. Randallstown in Antrim. Yeah, I know it. It's got a beautiful round tower. I've been to most of these castles. It was a passion of mine growing up. So, yeah, I think it's either 14th or 15th century. County Antrim is stunning. It's guys, like, I've got to bring you guys around Ireland. We'll pile into a fucking car and you can drive around Ireland in 3 days. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, yeah, the Canada boy meals, yeah.
Yeah, I've always wanted to go to Ireland. It's where my family hail from, and it's a place I've sort of always been interested in. I love Irish mythology. I love Irish history. And it'd just be really really great to say. But I will warn you that Officer Clive Wells and Officer Jess have soured on you a little, Irish. They thought you had nerd police potential, but you disappointed them.
No chance. I stick it to the man.
Did you just come out of the closet?
Whoa.
Yes. As a badass. When we all meet up in Ireland, right? And hopefully it won't be too far. Like, a trip to Ireland is not that expensive overall. I mean,
Tell that to the guy who has 4 children.
You'd be so surprised how cheap it is to stay in Ireland. It is much cheaper than you would imagine. But I'll take you guys to a pub called the Brazen Head in Dublin, and it's been around since, I think.
Awesome.
I met a girl who did that once.
Awesome. But the Brazen Head is it's one of the oldest. It's one of the oldest bars in Ireland. I think we were there the last time we were there. The oldest one is a place called Sean's Pub or Sean's Bar or something in Athlone. But the Brazen Head is from, I think it's from the 14th century or something, and it's still the exact same as it was back then. It's a fucking cool place.
Hay on the floor, no, on top of the mud.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Wenches in the corner.
Syphilis ridden through
Syphilis everywhere.
So,
It's where you
Irish,
stand.
Iris, this is I have to ask you a nerdy question. Have you ever been to Brougham Bridge
Brougham Bridge. Is that the
in
Brougham
Ireland, in
Bridge?
Dublin?
Hold
Sorry.
on. So I've done all the bridges in Dublin. I'm trying to think which bridge that one was. Hold on.
Brougham Bridge.
Brougham Bridge. BRO. So that'd be. I'm just trying to think there now because I can list. I can actually list all the bridges in Dublin. Well, I used to be able to. Um.
Nerd.
So I'm just. There's a poem for it. Hold on. My brain isn't working here now.
It was working before.
No, I can't remember. So I know that bridge appears in a song called the Royal Canal because I think it's
Right.
over the Royal. I think it's over the Royal Canal. It's in.
Aha! Clive Wells. I was about to challenge him, that he's already got the answer.
What was the answer?
There was a famous mathematician called Hamilton who conceived the concept of quaternions while he was walking across Brougham Bridge, and he was so he'd been thinking about this problem for a long time, and he was so inspired that he carved it into one of the bricks there, and indeed to this day there's a thing called the Hamilton pilgrimage, or where mathematician geeks trace the path that Hamilton was taking across that bridge and there's a plaque there
Wow.
now. The
That
inscription
sounds like
is
the world's most
stated.
boring fucking trip ever. But
It might well be. But I have to say that if Clive Wells remembers it, he's a fucking nerd. He's an undercover.
yeah, that is a nerd. He's a double agent.
Yeah.
He's a double A. To be fair, I was nerding out on the bridge itself. I've never been on that bridge though. I did all the City Liffey bridges because there's historical significance to each one during the Revolutionary War and all that stuff. But yeah, I have heard of. I think it's just known as Broom Bridge in Dublin. It's in Cabra, which is one of the nice areas of Dublin. But yeah, that's interesting. I didn't know the background about it, but
So anyway, there you go.
have you?
There you are.
Anyway, that was fascinating. I don't know how we got on, but we should do a thing because we've actually all got Irish connections, which is really cool. So what we should do for one of our shows, maybe when it goes back to my channel, we should bring some facts about our.
So next week.
Next week, we should bring some facts about our respective Irish clantions.
Jess
cool.
says that I'm projecting my dweeb onto other people.
Is that what you call it? Is that what you call it? Nerd Angle, I just want to answer Nerd Angle's question before we get moving. Nerd Angle says, how does Ireland look in autumn? It's a very good question. When autumn first comes to Ireland, in around kind of the end of September or so, it is absolutely breathtaking when you're in the countryside. Like, there's one spot that I love, a place called Ahern Bridge. We're all talking about bridges here. So Ahern Bridge, there's a place there. I can't even begin to describe how pretty it is. It's only about a mile or two from my home, but it's an old bridge from I think around the 15th or 16th century, stone bridge. It's absolutely amazing. And behind it is really still water on the River Bride. And behind that are all of these incredible, huge, ancient oak trees and all different types of trees, every color you can imagine. And it's absolutely stunning. I mean, it's breathtaking. There's still a bit of a warmth in the air. It's amazing. And the sounds in the countryside in Ireland are just remarkable. But when it turns, when you get a bad day, it's just gray and miserable, but there's still a beauty in it. And the one thing I miss more than the visuals and how beautiful it is and all the rest of it is the smell. of the countryside in Ireland. That beautiful, sweet, earthy smell that you just don't get anywhere else. Even when I was in the UK, you don't get that same. It's remarkable. It's this kind of maritime soil. It's yeah. If you haven't experienced it, I know there's one or two of you in there who will have seen, Ireland in the flesh and will know what I'm talking about by the smell in the countryside. It's just like nothing else. It's something I miss daily. Actually, I think about it. But then here in Australia, the smell of flowers here is insanely amazing in springtime and early summer. So there's that on the other side. But autumn in Ireland is second to none, I would say, or at least second to very few. Well, I guess you can only be second to one, can't you?
Yeah.
It's kind of how that works.
Unless it's a join. What if it's a join first?
Then you're third.
To quote Black,
If it's a join first, if it's like a tie between number one, then you go to number 3.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, okay, yeah. All right, so I'm stupid
With
at
you.
math, and I'm stupid at fucking grammar Nazis.
Okay. So, shall we move on to airing Jessica's video with the skillful segue based on scents and soil characteristics? Irish has really set the scene for
Yep.
it. It's something that I feel we sort of need to have aired at some stage, and then we can carry on after it.
Sounds
Good. All right. Let me make sure everything is working.
I think that this should sum it up definitely. I mean, I'm of a mind to say something, but I'm glad that Jess has said something. This is a really excellent video. Watched it before we went live. I'm still twisted up about this, and there's a lot of shit that I would like to say that I should not say because I'm not as
we're adults.
I'm not as collected and couth as PhD Tony was in his video. So I wish I had that kind of, had the wherewithal to address it in such an adult-like manner. Because when I get, pissed off about certain things, I tend to go for the jugular and get kind of dirty. So, I think this should be the final say on it.
Yeah, I just want to say that I apologize to everybody, every one of my subscribers, everyone who has followed me, for dragging them into what is, sort of an infantile squabble to some extent. But I kind of think that if we ignore bullies, if we ignore the noxious stuff that's happening, we let them prosper, and we kind of need to sort of start drawing lines. This is acceptable. This isn't. But in the middle, normally, at the start of any internet dispute, are basically two people who don't have tone of voice, facial expression, or a shared experience. And it's very easy to get into a disagreement when that happens. And we need to keep that in mind whenever an internet disagreement or dispute erupts. And I think that Jessica expresses this sentiment so beautifully. That we need to be mindful of the people we're interacting with and the different ways they might be interpreting what's going on.
Actually, and little, I have to address Little Wolf in the chat. Little Wolf said no, not this, and the reason I'm getting from that is because Little Wolf was in the chat last night with the Toxic Avengers when they were drumming up all this insanity and basically just trying to milk it for as much entertainment as possible at the expense of other individuals. And it was something I strongly disagree with, is that once someone has left the room, once someone is out of like that, there's no point in taking digs, no point in throwing barbs at somebody who is not there to defend themselves and who has removed themselves from the situation. After that, it's just petty and it's cruel. And it's you're just doing it for your Mean Girls group.
Yeah.
And
so I want to make a distinction here. I want to make a distinction here. Here's the thing: the Beardsmen are not condemning nor condoning any side in this. We are 100% down the middle, Switzerland. We have been and still continue to try and grow relationships with everybody who enjoys our content. quite frankly, I'm too old for this shit.
Same.
Yeah, and the only reason that I chose to comment is that I think that, as I said in my most recent video, bullying thrives in secrecy, and sometimes you need to shine a light on it and focus people's attention on it. But that being said, I don't want this to descend into some sort of vendetta, some sort of petty personal attack. That's not the objective of this, and I think that as a community, we should be better than that. And the sentiment, I wanted to say, I think that Jess really, really does nail. So I'd just like to hand over to her if we can.
Yep, here we are.
Yeah.
All right. Now, it's important to understand that this is not an attack video in any way, shape, or form. If it were, we wouldn't air it because, again, we are above that. Jessica G is succinct in what she has to say, and I hope everybody that listens, if we can hear it. Let me make sure everything is good.
Are you gonna full screen it, Johnny, or?
Yep.
Oh, cool. I'll probably just step out for a minute, but I will be listening. I'll have my headphones on. I just need to take care of something outside.
He needs to go chronometer his dendros.
Yep. Now, it doesn't look like sound is working, which, if that sound is not working, then that just kind of defeats the entire...
It does kind of defeat the purpose.
Yep, defeats the purpose. Let's see here.
Somewhat, yeah.
Boom. There we go.
I shall be back momentarily.
Enjoy your shit.
Is there sound?
No audio.
Was
Yes.
it probably
goes.
a month, and I forgot thrusted into this whole drama. I did not want to be a part of this drama. I have told the people involved that I didn't want to be in this drama, and I still got roped into it to try to protect people. I have originally was trying to protect one person, and then I was trying to protect both people,
All right, let
and
me go
then
ahead and
I
start this.
ended up.
I'm going to go ahead and start this over. That way everybody gets all the context.
Join us. We are DedSec.
Hey there, everybody in the YouTube's world. This is Jessica here. I just wanted to kind of give it my opinion of the drama that has been going on the last few weeks and possibly the last few months. So I was in probably a month, and I forgot thrusted into this whole drama. I did not want to be a part of this drama. I have told the people involved that I didn't want to be in this drama, and I still got roped into it to try to protect people. I have originally was trying to protect one person, and then I was trying to protect both people, and then I ended up leaving one person. So the drama is between Crafty Kila and Ilya Moon. I'm still not quite 100% sure what has happened, because initially I was sent these screenshots from Ilya Moon about a member of the I network. So I didn't even know what was going on when I got roped into the whole situation. I never knew what the I network was. I did not know who Griff Tequila was. I was told that she felt like she was being bullied, and so I went like any mother would do to their child. I'm not saying she's my child, but I kind of looked at her as, someone I'm trying to protect, is that I wanted to protect her. So I would start going to the I network to see what is going on there. After about a week, the drama became worse. There was videos put out by Craft Tequila. Ilya Moon now felt even more alone on an island. So I was even more angry because I was not knowing what is going on between these two, but I see them fighting, and they're both, their camps, their friends, their teams are trying to get each other's attention. So I took it upon myself after the video has come out. I told Ilya Moon, I'm going to reach out to Craft Tequila. I want to see if this is something that I can repair. The one thing I learned very fast about Craft Tequila is she's very proud. She does not want to back down to anyone, and it's very admirable if you think about it, because once you give any little bit of space, the next person will know that they know your weakness, and then they will try to take advantage of you as well. So she was not willing to back down. She never shared anything with me about Ilya Moon. But when I did ask her, is this something that can be repaired? She said no. She said no, this cannot be repaired. The dramas kept continue, and it started to blow up worse. And then I have a misunderstanding with a member of the Sit Down with the Bunkers team, which now roped me into even more portion of this drama, because at the time I felt that they were trying to, they were kind of like, in the way I felt is that once Quidis the Sprinkler was timing me out in the channels, in my head, and I was probably wrong, but in my head I just thought, oh my gosh, they now think I'm a part of this Craft Tequila alliance. I always wanted to just be both people's friends. I wanted to like Craft Tequila, I really like her, and I wanted to like Ilya Moon because I really like her. And it got way out of control. I said a lot of mean things to Ilya Moon in emails, and some of her friends said a lot of really mean things back to me. I always just wanted to, bring them back together, and it did not work, and I kept trying, and it did not work. And Craft Tequila could even tell you that just yesterday, the last few days, I've been trying to, resolve this peacefully. I don't want these people to be mad at each other. I just want everyone to be friends. Why can't we all be friends? Why can't Crafty Kila go on to sit down with the bunkers, and why can't Ilya Moon go onto the iNetwork? Now, I wasn't here for any of the iNetwork's older dramas from however long ago because I really try to avoid these situations. So, I don't know if this is just something that network does. I don't know. But what I do know is that I want this shit to stop. On top of all of that, I want both parties. I want all of Crafty's friends. I want all of Ilya Moon's friends to sit back and start thinking that you guys are all hurting both Crafty Kila and Ilya Moon. You're making nothing better to consistently make this attack videos and to launch and hurl insults in the chat rooms and the comment sections. You're doing nothing. Crafty Kila is hurting really bad right now. And Ilya Moon is also hurting really bad right now. I can see it. I see the exchanges they have in the chat rooms. And it should not be that way. You know, Ilya Moon should not have to say, I'm going to be lurking. And Crafty should not have to say that I'm going to be lurking. They should both be able to interact in the chat room and not feel like they're walking on eggshells. We need to realize that there's a lot of important things that are kind of just being overlooked. I wanted to tell you guys something that was said to me in confidence from an impartial third party. I won't use their names, but this is the quote that they sent me. It was 2 messages, and once they told me about this a few days ago, I started to look at myself differently, like what did I really screw up on in this whole thing? So, this is what they told me. Quote, you did nothing but present with trying to help 2 parties reconcile. But the more I digest and find out about this, the more I think this was a huge misunderstanding. Have you ever heard of the personality color test? Maybe I'm completely wrong, but I think that all of this was a big clash of personality types. If we do a thought exercise where we give everyone the benefit of the doubt and the chance to be interpreted as decent human being, we can see the story differently. They ended up following up that with this next comment. I think Ilya Moon wants everything out in the open because she feels that she is presenting herself honestly to the world. I think she's a very emotional person, and I feel that she got really hurt by Kevin breaking friendship with her. She seemed to truly like him, and she seemed to truly like Kila too, and you too as well. Everyone has their own way of dealing with friends, emotions, situations. I think her way is to sit down and discuss every time are disagreements. I think she was hurting, and the more she hurt, the more she tried to approach the people she liked so she could clear the air. However, that is her way to deal with the situation, and that way did not necessarily match other people's way, and voila, we now have a huge misunderstanding. Crafty Kila comes across as very honest. She has integrity, and she seems to be very important to her. That and loyalties. So when she saw Amy upset about the ambush call, she went ballistic. End quote. And I completely agree with this, you know. I think that both parties are not, rather, I think both parties are telling the truth. And they're telling the truth from their own lens and their own points of view. I think everyone is kind of just not realizing that Ilya Moose sees the situation one way, and Crafty Killer sees the situation in a different way. So they're having all of this mixed messages going on, and we're not taking the time to realize that they're handling it differently. And I don't believe either one is lying. I believe they're both telling their side of the story, how they see the story. If you take 10 people, and you told them all separately one thing, they will all interpret it in a different way. It reminds me of this old experiment. It was a thought experiment that we used to do in school, where you would tell one person, rather the teacher would tell one person one thing, and the object of the whole thing was to whisper to the person next to you and tell them what you were told. And they repeat this process until they get to the entirety of the classroom, and we'll find out what happened in the 30th person in the classroom. They always have something completely different to say than what the first person is saying, because everything is lost in translation. There's so many people just chiming in and giving their opinions and filling both of these people's heads with their opinions. And it's not right, it's not right. It's not right for me to try to convince Kayla. It's not right for Ilya Moon's friends to try to convince her. We just need to end this. And I don't know how we do it, but I think that we need to get Ilya and Crafty to talk. They need to talk. And it seems like neither one of them wants to have anything to do with each other. And I don't think nothing is the way. So I tell this story that happened to me to a person recently. I emailed it to them, and it completely reminds me of the situation. So when my parents got a divorce, I was really, really young. And my oldest brother was constantly making the jokes of the situation. He would throw his mashed potatoes at me during dinner whenever my parents were arguing. Or he would go to the bathroom and he would come out with toilet paper and his gravy from his mashed potatoes on it and pretend like he was eating poop. And my parents always stopped fighting at that point so they could laugh at him. He ended up, my oldest brother, he got married and he moved to America. And I didn't see him for a very long time. When I next, saw him, I asked him, why did you make a joke of this whole thing? Why were you always playing around when our parents were fighting? And he told me, I knew that acting like a buffoon would get our parents to stop fighting. I knew that once the conversations stopped, the bad things were going to happen. And once he moved, my parents got divorced. There was nobody else there to make them laugh, and nobody else there to keep them talking. My oldest brother tried all the time to keep them talking. And I feel like this is what has happened between Crafty and Ilya Moon, is that the conversations completely stopped. And it really sucks. I really miss, getting to go to the sit down with the bunkers and having fun with the people in there, I really miss it. I enjoyed going to poop in a can and, listening to the boys say gross, disgusting things because it was fun. It was hilarious. I think my problem with Quittis the Sprinkler was a misunderstanding, and, I didn't make it better by continuing to troll him. I've maybe taken it, too much to heart and take what it was happening the wrong way, but that is my bad, and I have to accept that that was my bad. One of the most important things that has been very well overlooked in this whole situation is the I was sent like this screenshot. I really wish people would stop sending me fucking screenshots. But I was sending this screenshot of a person on Twitter who was going on there as Ilya Moon and Mr. Serious, and they were trolling Ilya and the sit down with the bunkers and everybody else, tagging everyone in their messages. What is being overlooked about this whole thing is that all of you guys seem to forgetting that while all of this is happening, you're still going through drama with Unirock and Kyle Curtis's friends from Non-Sec. And you seem to forget that these people are in your Discord and they're in your Twitters, and they're sitting, salivating, waiting for the opportunities to pounce on you guys. When I first started to talk to Ilya Moon, she was messaging me specifically because people were coming into the chat rooms with her name, and there were names like Ilya Moon is a whore, and it was people from the Unirock channel, and I told her, you need to ban these people, you need to stay off of their channel, you need to stop, interacting with these people, because they're never going to stop as long as you are involved in drama and as long as you respond to them, because they know they got to you and they know they can continue to get to you. So you have people in your private discords who are pretending to be, members of both parties, because you guys are not the only people having this happen. Crafty Keela had people sending her death threats. She had people telling her to go commit suicide on the behalf of Ilya Moon. Now, I know nobody on Ilya Moon's side would ever wish people to go commit suicide. These are these Unirock trolls that are in your Discord who are taking advantage of the situation. And then they are now doing it back to Ilya Moon. Because this is what trolls do. They take advantage of these situations and they stir the pot. And everyone seems to be completely oblivious to this. I can assure you, 100%, I never trolled Ilya Moon on Twitter or Discord. Crafty Keela never trolled Ilya Moon on Twitter or Discord either. We're not making these fake accounts. I see this, another screenshot that was sent to me again of people in the sit down with the bunkers chat room or Discord chat room that were insinuating that me and Crafty were the ones making those accounts, and you guys were referring to us as KJ, Crafty Jessica. Sorry, if you knew anything about me, you would know I don't don't do that shit. I don't have time for that shit. While I'm sitting here, talking to you guys in the chat rooms, I'm usually working on music, taking care of my kids, sitting down playing video games and streaming. I'm not making new accounts to troll you guys. I don't fucking care about you. I don't, care to do that shit to you guys, and nor would I if I did have the time. I'm here, trying to. I'm the laziest you've ever seen. When I make the Florfica G and Fivica G names, I'm so lazy of troll that I do that on my account that I'm using with Jessica, because I don't want to make a new email. I have 2 emails. I'm not going to continue to make more emails just so I can troll you guys. It's such a waste of time. I'd rather just, troll you in the open if I want to do it. And I'm not doing it. And you guys were insinuating that I was the one with Crafty that are making these fake accounts. We're not doing shit. This is you guys just kind of assuming that it is us. So, I just wanted to end this video with an open apology to Quedis the Sprinkler, and Ilya Moon for any part I play in this. I think that what happens between me and Quedis was a huge misunderstanding. I don't think, I was reading the chat room where the first stream I was on with Quedis in that day, and it didn't seem to be being mean to me. So I think in the span of like 12 hours, I already had it in my head that Quedis was against me, and I treated him like shit, and I trolled him really hard, and he responded by trolling me back. So I believe it was a misunderstanding. I believe it is something that, just happens when you're not thinking objectively, you're just wanting to think the worst is happening. And I apologize to both of you for even, starting that. I just want all of this shit to stop. I want Crafty and Ilya Moon to talk, to have a phone call with each other, and they just, talk this out like adults. I don't know why we can't settle our differences. We're all just humans, we all make mistakes, and we all react differently to certain situations. Before I forget, I just want to take advantage of this. Tim Skeptic, you suck. I'm kidding. I'm just kidding. I love you. Even though you're a weird alien kid with hats that are too big for him. And you have that
All right. Yeah. So there are a few things I would like to say. And then I will not say another word after this. First and foremost, to anybody going to anybody's chats, emails, private messages, whatever, and suggesting that someone commit suicide, you can go fuck yourself. That is something that I will fight you to the death for. Do not do that. I don't care who the fuck you're talking to. Don't ever suggest, encourage, or imply that someone should end their own life. You are a piece of shit if you do. Point blank and period. Second, this is the end of my involvement with all this bullshit. I'm done with it. I'm an adult. I'm grown. Be an adult and be grown with me. Let's put the bullshit down and move forward. If you can't respectfully speak with another person, then just don't speak with them. If you can't find something to talk about without dragging bullshit with you, then stop talking. We don't need any more attack videos. We don't need any more live streams. We don't need any more people commenting about what somebody else said to somebody else who isn't them. Leave it alone, set it down, move on with your lives. And that's all I'm going to say about it. And there's an uncomfortable silence.
Yeah, I agree with what you're saying. I agree 100%. I think at this point we can. I hope that we can move on. I hope that that's all that needs to be said. Color me skeptical that this will be the end of it, but for outside of us, but as far as we go, as far as the four Beardsmen of the Apocalypse, we have said our piece on this. We choose we don't want to be involved on either side. That is drama outside of this. This is not a place for dramas and stuff like the whole opening of the show. Yeah, we were laughing, we were talking about things, and we made each other laugh. We learned some stuff. That's the whole point of this, to come together and have this community and be a part of this community. And everyone is welcome here. And we're not about that, alienation life. It's bullshit. So,
Tony,
Demon?
there you go.
Yeah, I noticed after you guys talked about an uncomfortable silence while I was nattering away.
I thought
Demon,
it was relatively peaceful for a moment.
Demon, do you want to say anything?
Yeah. Look, this shit's been going on now for a little while, and it's been bothering a lot of people, and not just those involved, but indirectly, a lot of our subscribers, people that we engage with, have mentioned that they don't want to engage anymore because they're afraid that they'll be seen to be taking sides, etc., etc. Don't worry about that. I can't speak for everybody else. I speak for myself here, but if you comment on my videos and Tony's and JL's and Johnny O's and people who you might think are on the other side, doesn't matter to me. I don't see sides in this at all. But here's the thing. All that shit aside, right? The world is going through a tremendous shitstorm at the moment for many different reasons. Politically, the world is in absolute upheaval. People dropping dead, sadly, every single day from the coronavirus and from other things. There's a knock-on effect where, jobs have been lost, people can't feed their families. The world at the moment is fucked, quite simply. The last thing we need, the very last thing we need, is this bullshit. Not just the initial incidents that led to all of this. I won't comment on those incidents, but we all know. Not just those things, but this constant, ongoing backwards and forwards and people trying to take sides and all of that stuff. it's time now, simply that it ends. Please watch my channel. I'm sure you'll know I like to keep things jovial. I like to have a laugh. I like to have fun. Life is very tough for a lot of people. And I'm sure of all of you watching this right now, there are a vast majority of you who are probably going through some pretty shitty times right now. Some of you I know are in countries that are still in lockdown. You may have lost somebody. You may have issues with your job because of this. I was supposed to be in Ireland a couple of weeks ago. Couldn't go. Everybody's going through shit right now. We don't need tit for tat bullshit. It's as simple as that. There's way too much going on for everybody to be getting involved in childish stuff. Yes, we may take issue with specific things that happened. Okay, I know I did. I know other people did. We take issue with things. We might call those things out. There's no problem calling somebody out. If I do something stupid, I expect Mrs. Demon to go, that was fucking stupid. And I address it and we leave it there. And I think that is what we need to do now. We need to accept that things happen. People are never always going to get on. It's not going to happen. And so from now on, I think the best thing that everybody can do is leave it. Leave the bitchy videos. Leave the bullshit excuses, the bullshit arguments, taking sides. We can all be friends here. Some people are never going to talk to each other again and are never going to be friends with each other again. I have people in my life that I will never speak to again. Doesn't mean I'm going to spend the rest of my life making hate videos about them. So I think it just needs to stop here now. I know I don't want to hear this shit anymore. I just don't. It breaks my heart that so much division in what is such a strong community otherwise. That's why I'm here. If it wasn't for that interaction, that friendship, and all of that stuff, I wouldn't waste my time. I'm not here to just make videos for likes and clicks and money and whatever else. I'm here because I want to interact with people. I want to have fun with people. We won't always agree. Look at me and Tony on most streams. We don't always agree, and that's the way it is, and that's fine. I might say, hey, you stupid fuck, this is how it is. And he go, no, you stupid dumb shit, this is how it is. And then we'll laugh about something else later. That's the way it's meant to be. We're adults. We're not fucking children. Now, I understand that sometimes people have really bad arguments and it might take a while for people to come around and they go, I can't believe that she or he said that. It's fine. We're adults. We can get past it. Let's just move on, go back to having fun, and leave the shit behind us. And yeah, I didn't expect to say anything, but I just felt like I had to get all that out. So I just hope that from now on, not just the people involved, because, you know, of course, I don't think there's ever going to be full reconciliation there. Though. That's the nature of humanity. But for those of you in the chat, I just want you all to know that I care about you. I enjoy spending my days talking with you in the chat, talking with you in comments and all of that stuff. You all mean the world to me, and I don't want you to feel like you need to take sides on anything. You don't. Just go enjoy the streams from both people involved if they do decide to continue to make videos, etc. Just enjoy what you enjoy and don't get involved in the nonsense. And I'll leave it there. Thank you.
So I want to say that in all of the time that we've been together, which I've immensely enjoyed, I've never been prouder, actually, to be a Beardsman than I am right now. I feel that you've all expressed some worthwhile things, and I feel that Jess's contribution right there combined integrity, sincerity, generosity, and responsibility. She showed us all how to be an adult, how to see both sides of a situation, and how to be honest with one another. And I think that that should be an inspiration to us all going forward. I do want to say one thing. I think that we should, as a community, be aware that there may be people that are acting negatively inside our community. If that happens, call them out. Don't be afraid to make a fuss about somebody who's being a dick. But if they refuse to, you know, it'll happen with me. As Iris just said, I can be a dick sometimes. I can be rude. I can be abrasive, and it's possible. Certainly, it has happened that I've stepped over the line, and I may step over the line in future. And if that happens, I expect somebody to just go, "Wait a second, mate. Turn around. The line's a couple of paces behind you." In which case, I hold up my hands and say, "Okay, sorry about that, everyone. I'll try and do better in future." Nobody's perfect. Everybody's going to screw up from time to time. Accept that in one another. Don't expect perfection, and don't be afraid to apologize. Um, that was the strongest part of Jess's presentation, and the insight she brought into who might be stirring it up and who might be fanning the flames. Just a really valuable contribution. I've made a couple of videos on this topic, and I wish I had come anywhere near to making a contribution anywhere near as valuable as that which Jess just gave us the opportunity to share. So thank you very much, Jess, and thank you very much, you guys, for making this community worthwhile, and for the three gentlemen beside me who I am proud to share a screen with. Thank you, one and all. Again, I don't want to reference any drama because I'm hoping that we can just, learn from this, move forward, be stronger than we were before.
Absolutely. If I could just add to one thing, just to what I was saying, it's something that I say regularly, and at the end of my videos and all that kind of stuff, is just a message. There's 38 people watching right now, and what I would just ask each and every one of you to do at some stage over the next 24 hours, do something nice for somebody. It doesn't have to be anything big. Fucking call someone that you haven't spoken to in a while, ask them how they're doing, put $1 in someone's cup, buy someone a cup of coffee, whatever, just let's start trying to spread a little bit of positivity. This is 38 people plus the 4 of us. So, I'm not good at math, so that's at least 50 people. That's a lot of goodness. It could be a small thing, could be a big thing. Maybe, if you got a couple of bucks to spare and you see a charity that you think might be needing a bit of help right now. In my case, I'm going to maybe tomorrow give a few bucks to the Chihuahua charity, or I was thinking of donating some of my dog stuff. Just little things. It doesn't have to be, and something just within your means. And let's just try to spread a little bit of positivity now after all of this shit. Let's make something good come out of it and move on from here. I think we can do it.
Just like negativity, positivity too is infectious. So by you giving that positive energy over to someone else, they are more inclined to do the same, and so on and so on and so on.
There's one story I came across recently where a guy, he was living in New York City and he was downtown and he got in a taxi and he wanted to go to the other end of New York, and the taxi drivers hate driving there because they can never pick up a fare coming back into the city. The taxi driver complained the whole way there, was arrogant and shitty with the guy. So the guy gave him double what it actually cost to get the cab out there. And he was like, "Here you go, man. Spread a bit of positivity." And he said, the guy just lit up and it changed his whole day. And, I think that's important. Sometimes when people are mean to us, it's not because of something we've done. It's not because they dislike us or anything. They could just be having a bad day. And I think we need to remember that. We have so much direct access to each other now with the internet that we forget that human side of things. Sometimes I duck my neighbor because I'm just not in the mood to have a nice chat that day. And, today we stood out there with, oh, wait, I was just going to say something that could be taken out of context. We stood out there with our hoses in our hands. We were washing our flowers.
And that can't be taken out of context.
At all.
That's
no way.
That's the sentence you corrected to.
So we were standing there with our hoses in our hand, and we had a good old chat. I dodged him for a few days because I just was not feeling in the mood. And then I found out today that his wife and his baby had to go back to Kenya to look after his mother-in-law, and he's going through a tough time about it. So, it's important. Just remember that we're all human too. We're not just people on a screen. And sometimes people just need a bit of love. It's as simple as that. So I think we can move on from here and make the world a better place.
Demon semen. It has what plants crave.
Oh my god.
Oh, yes. Full of protein.
All right.
Oh,
It has electrolytes.
oh my good God.
Are you talking about me, Tony?
No, he said good
you're
God.
not my
I
good
am
God.
good God.
He said
Oh,
good
God,
God.
not the bad
Yeah.
one.
Micro Raptor says, "Stop pissing on the neighbor's flowers." I think that's sound life advice for
Yep.
everyone.
He had it coming.
He had it coming. You know, and you know, as again, you know, I just cannot stress enough how I appreciate, you know, the positive contribution that you guys and the people in the chat make to me. I mean, so at my work, we've been quite our director has been quite strict about the lockdown in order to keep our insurers happy, and so actually I don't get to talk to people at work. So I go to work and I sit in front of my computer, and we can't chat because we're not allowed really in the same room. We can't go into different buildings. We can't walk across the walkway. We can't do that sort of stuff. So my social network depends in large part on sort of a lot of the contacts I've built up in this community. It's an unusual situation, but I kind of think that we need to understand one another a little bit more, and how things might seem to another person from a slightly different perspective. And you guys have helped me reach that. You know, for instance, I didn't think that you could be as naive about American politics as Irish Demon obviously is. I thought anybody with even basic literacy skills would be better informed, but you know, Irish has shown me that there's just a whole different levels there, and you know, you guys really do, and you guys here and you guys in the chat really do help me out immensely with your support, and particularly over the past couple of days, which have been cool for me. You guys have really helped out.
I just put a link to your other channel in the chat, Tony.
Oh man.
Thanks for the support, mate. Yeah.
Oh, the Google moderator team got you.
No
Yeah,
way.
nope, because you put Pornhub in there.
They did.
Kidding.
Ah, nice.
Oh, PJ Tony will be streaming on Chatterbait later tonight. That's good.
For those of you who have trouble getting to sleep,
Yep.
if you come in horny but you need to sleep, I can solve that for you.
Absolutely. I just put a link in the chat also to where you can find Tony's videos. I will let you figure that out. I'll let you figure that out for yourself.
Healthline Nutrition. I noticed that. Sleep aids that make you get some shut eye. That's me.
All right. Well, speaking of sleep, it's what? It's like 4 o'clock in the morning over there, right?
Yeah. What time is it over there, guys?
2:30 for me.
It's 11:30 for me because Western Australia does not do savings.
Yes, but the Australian Capital Territory very much does. So...
And they also have legal weed, which is something that I wonder why Tony doesn't have 4 big, dirty, fat plants behind him right now.
They're hidden by the that fake wall that also hides his water heater.
That also was, yeah, it's all behind there.
So apparently, Alien X Gaming would like to inform people: PhD Tony's videos aren't hate videos, just anger videos. He pounds it and yells obscene things.
I can confirm I was behind the camera. It's absolutely true. And I mean, obscene isn't even the word for it. Some might even say disgusting. But you know what? You don't even need to listen. It's just the visuals alone. I mean, I didn't know you could do something like that with a pineapple. That's all I'm saying. I'll let you figure it out. It's remarkable. Backwards too, which is
Wow.
Gives a whole new meaning to the pineapple
It's-
upside down
it's
cake.
It's sideways that's really hard. If you want it,
it's what I like to call it, dildo dome.
Jess says PhD flaccid. Oh, I'm being bullied now. This is not fun.
She says JL audio
Uh-oh.
issues.
It should be good. We're all right. I can hear it on my phone.
No, I think this is a reference to the season finale.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah. I can't remember. I had tried my best to actually expunge that particular experience from my memory. But
I actually had to put I had to put a disclaimer at the top of that when I uploaded it to Anchor so we could go out there. I put like a little quick disclaimer at the beginning. It was like, we had some problems, so feel free to skip ahead to the 38-minute mark and continue on from there once we got them solved. So
So yeah.
all right. Well, if that's it, it's getting late for you girls.
It is.
We can let you wrap it up. PhD Tony, what do you got?
Well, having
That's great.
having
Irish Demon, what do
released
you
a
got?
bunch. Go on, dude. Because I've got nothing.
No, Tony,
I've just
I think
released,
you got something coming up, don't you?
I've just released
Yeah,
like
it's called it.
Wait. This is funny. Wait. So I want you to listen to how Tony just started that sentence. He's about to release, and then listen to what he says next. Go ahead, Tony. This is hilarious.
Okay. I have released 4 videos in the past couple of days.
About?
And about various dramas.
No,
having
not the drama ones.
Well,
okay. I released a video about gas pressure
Sorry, childish.
last week, and I'll be releasing another one about entropy and gas diffusion in the weeks to come. I'll also be organizing a 1,000 sub special, provided I can find anybody willing to appear on screen with me.
I'm sure you'll find someone.
Yeah, well, I'll be able to pay somebody at a fairly modest rate, I'm sure.
Make sure you plug your OnlyFans, your Pornhub, your RedTube.
Absolutely. The other video Tony's got coming out, I won't give the exact details of it, but I'll just say this: it involves a basketball and a whole stick of butter. And that is all I'm saying about that.
And an audience of in front of an audience of trees.
Exactly. And a very confused squirrel.
Yep.
In the background. All I'll say is don't have any lunch before you watch it, because it's Rodent No Last Name says, anyone have PhD Tony's Grinder account? It's actually locked, just from sheer activity. I would be honored to be on screen with Tony, but I'm a nobody. That is bullshit. Let me just tell you this: I'm gonna have Skeptic Dank on. Hopefully this week, if we can. We're going to talk about one of Tony's heroes, Mr. Donald Trump, and about the potential future that we might see there, following his almost definite election at this point, I would say. I'm saying it, I'm calling it. He's going to get elected, I'm sure. I would also, at some stage this week, like to have a conversation about the Kamala Harris and Mike Pence debate. That was
Jeff Goldblum won that debate.
To say that, Jeff
Goldblum won that debate.
You didn't get it.
It was the fly.
Yes.
The
fly won that debate. The fly won that debate.
Yes,
but
also
I really
known as
want
Jeff
to talk
Goldblum.
about that debate because
Yeah.
I thought it was really interesting. I thought it was a fascinating debate to watch. I got to say, it's one of the first times I've ever seen Mike Pence debate. I've just never really watched him before. And I've seen Kamala Harris a few times, and I got to say, I wasn't impressed with her at all. I found her to be very, I don't know. It just didn't come across as very genuine to me, and I felt that was a bit concerning. But it's going to be interesting to see and have a few chats about that particular debate, and the points made in the debate more so, I think, are important.
I'd like to take an issue there. I really don't care how somebody comes across in a couple of hours on a debate stage. The focus that is put on this is absolutely nonsensical. These people are basically performing artists at this point when they appear on the stage. It's all. How about instead of focusing on debates, we actually have a look at the policies and how they will be changed? And of course, one of the things is that they don't want to commit to policies because it might alienate some voters. So the voters only have the superficialities to go by. So we're back to, well, we judge them on the basis of their performance at the debate.
Exactly.
Well, the entire system is removing us from reality. I'd really rather have a system where we could engage with the reality, but neither side seems particularly interested in it.
Correct. So, yeah. It was definitely, I will say, this week in the media, in particular, both sides of the media in the States, they have been taking a lot of people out of context. Like, I felt like Joe Biden was completely taken out of context when this whole shitstorm about him saying that the voters don't deserve to know what his plans are and everything. I watched that video a few times. I've got to say, it seemed like he was just kind of responding quickly without actually thinking about what he was saying. I don't think he actually meant the voters don't deserve to know. No. I think it was just the way he responded, because he does fumble his words. There's no question about it. And I mean, it's probably no surprise to anybody here. I don't like Joe Biden. I'm going to say it's true. I do not like. I think he's an establishment crony. I don't like him. I also don't like fucking Donald Trump, and I don't like Mike Pence because I think he's a religious extremist. And I don't like Kamala Harris because I think she is a liar. She's just she's one of the most unlikable people ever. And the fact that she wouldn't give a straight answer on policy was something that really bugged me.
You know who I like? You know who I actually like? Because I don't think I've seen him lie. Is actually Bernie.
Bernie Sanders,
Just,
he's direct.
I just like the way he handles a lot of situations, and I like the.
I'll come at you like a spider monkey.
Yeah, I just like his approach, and I like his attitude. I like his philosophy.
I do too.
And I really admire sort of his tendency to do honesty. Somebody said that the first video they saw of me was PH Tony takes the D. How PH Tony took the D. So that's a.
Did you notice?
I can't remember doing that one, so that must have been one of the earlier.
That was during your cocaine days.
Snorting it right off my ass.
If Irish Demon thinks that I partake of marijuana, he has significantly overestimated how cool I am.
I reckon.
The cocaine jokes. You guys have a really high opinion of how cool I am.
I honestly think, Tony, you would have a lot of fun if you smoke some weed. I really do believe that. I'm not pushing weed.
No, it's not. It's not that I. It's not. I just don't smoke.
You don't need to smoke.
If you had
edibles.
If you had edibles,
yes.
I'd be willing to try them. So,
it's on. I'll send you some insane gummy bears.
Be careful, Tony. There's some shit out there that will lay you on
Make
your
sure,
ass.
so your first experience with edibles, whatever they suggest your singular dose be, stick to that. Like, don't. It takes 30 minutes to an hour before it to kick in.
Did I tell you guys
That's
that my last experience with cannabis oil?
Yeah, you
Did I tell
did.
you guys that?
And then where you got super
Yeah.
sick, yeah.
Oh my fucking god, man! Like, for those of you out there who have never tried it and are thinking about it, be careful with oils, in particular, because it hits you like a fucking dump truck. First of all, second of all, don't be stupid like me and not listen to your doctor. So I'm prescribed it because here in Australia the rules are ridiculous. So I'll just briefly tell the story. My doctor sent me this really potent, very high THC, very high CBD oil. So I use it for I have chronic inflammation and pain in my leg. I've also got PTSD, so I use it for that too. I've not had any issues that way or since I started using cannabis, so it's been amazing. But basically, I was told to take zero point 0.1 milliliters of this oil. I took 1 milliliter of the oil
Ooh.
because I didn't fucking listen. And so I took it and I was like, this, there's a little bit of a buzz. This is pretty nice. And I was sitting right here where I am right now, and my hand was on the mouse and I couldn't fucking move. Like, I was like, and I felt like my teeth were floating out in front of my head. I was getting like it's crazy. So I'd gone from feeling high for about 15 minutes to completely tripping balls. Like, I mean, I don't know if anybody here's ever tried mushrooms, but like way beyond that. Like, I'm talking, I could hear colors. Like, I could. I mean, I remember at one stage I was trying to get into bed because I was like, I need to go to bed. I'm fucked, right? And I was trying to get into the bed and I was pulling the covers like from the bottom of the bed, and I was pulling the covers, and I thought that the bed was moving away from me, and I was trying to pull the covers. It was a surreal, awesome experience, but it was surreal, and I won't do it again because I like Mrs. Demon came home, and she came in the room, and I was like, and she was like, what the fuck happened to you? And I was like, I took way too much. She was like, you fucking idiot. She stormed out of the room. I was so high. So yeah, be careful with edibles. But
okay, I shall be. You've warned me. You actually remind me of Stephen Root's character from Buffy the Vampire Slayer, where he plays the guidance counselor.
I have never watched that.
Well, this is the movie.
Oh,
this
okay.
is the
Yeah.
yeah.
Again, girls, I was way too busy.
Okay.
Wow.
Well,
Way
then-
too busy
then I
building
shan't
his
tell you
Lego
about it.
sets.
Yep.
So Tony has let us know what he has going on, and Irish has sort of let us know. Do you have anything coming up?
Nah, I just, you know me, I play it by ear. I kind of, I wake up, see something funny, and I'm like, oh, that's gonna make a good video. And that's about all I do.
I have to say again, Irish, I admire your constitution. You watched that content earlier today. I just wouldn't know how to tolerate that for more than a few milliseconds at a time.
I'm a glutton for punishment, I think is what the term is. Yeah, I think it's important. Somebody just called weed the devil's lettuce. I heard the best name for it the other day, and it was Caribbean cabbage. I thought that was hilarious.
That is a good one.
Yeah, that was a pretty good one. But yeah, like in the Australian Capital Territory right now, you can legally grow 4 plants. I told my brother this. I was like, you can legally grow 4 plants in the Capital Territory right now, and he was like, do they have a size limit to the plant? I was like, they don't, but they do have a limit to how much dry product you can carry on you. But that's about it. And he sent me a picture of his friend who's in Canada, so it's legal, just in case anybody freaks out. No, I'm sure nobody would, but and he had a plant the size of my house. Like, this thing was enormous. And there was buds on that thing the size of cabbages. Like, I mean, it was the biggest fucking thing I've ever seen. And he sent me a video. His friend sent me a video of, and like I could smoke a little bit, and that's plenty. That's all I need. I don't. It doesn't take a lot. This guy smoked a joint that was like a baguette, and he just sat there and smoked the whole thing. I'm like, how do you do that? Like, that would kill me. I mean, that's insane. But yeah, it's oh yeah, four plants per adult, and I think maximum 8 per household. So get growing, Tony. I'll be over there once COVID. I'll smoke it all. Don't worry. I'll fucking we'll do a stream. Just get absolutely baked and eat Cheetos and all that stuff.
I don't have a garden, I'm afraid. I live in a little 2-room apartment.
You could grow it in your toilet, okay? That's how easy this shit is.
You've never proven how lame you are until this point. Nobody oh my god. Like, talking about growing weed and going, I can't grow weed for I do not have a garden. Nobody grows weed in a garden. Everybody grows it indoors. Fucking garden. What? It's not tomatoes. Oh my god. I'm afraid I don't have room to grow a marijuana plant.
I'm afraid you've mistaken me for Walter White.
You are the danger.
I am.
Oh my god, man. Tony's the one who knocks.
I am the one who knocks, but
excuse me.
All right, Johnny O, what do you got going on the?
Let's see here. I've got unpopular opinions coming out tomorrow. I haven't written it yet, nor have I recorded it yet, but it's coming out tomorrow. So yeah, that'll be fun. I also have collaborations with Huge Artists in the works and Prime Red. Those will be fun. I'm gonna sit down with Prime Red here in a bit, talk some shop. And then Friday, it's just going to be me again on the Plot Hole podcast. Maybe we can coax JL and Irish and Tony to stop by for a bit. We'll see what happens. But yeah, that's all I got.
When would that be?
What's that?
When would that be? When would you like to coax me?
Friday night, 8 o'clock Central. So I think that's like Saturday morning for you.
Saturday morning for me. Often I am committed to the shills by that point.
No worries.
But, this coming week, I shall make a point of being available for your stream instead of the shills. The shills get me a lot of the time anyway, so they can do without.
And the shills need to learn to share. Don't be so stingy, shills. Share the D. Share the D. But yeah, that's all I got coming up. We do have Master Debaters coming up October 31st, because we're going to talk about Halloween. And what better day to talk about Halloween than on Halloween? That'll be fun.
And just to give you the heads up, all of us here, all of us at Week in Horror, we entered in this contest to potentially to win $1,000 and watch horror movies for like 24 hours straight over Halloween. So if one of us wins it, one of us will not be available. So just giving you the heads up on that.
I just I need to confess I've never watched a single Halloween film.
Really?
Which seems seems quite a weird oversight, since I do like the genre. But the other thing that I was going to point out is that actually there's a channel called What's Culture Horror that are advertising for writers and presenters. And actually, I was going to mention this off air to JL, but you should at least give them a look. So because they're a British channel, I'm not sure who they're looking for, but I think
I've seen some of their stuff before.
Yeah, you get Ash, who does the top 10 stuff a lot.
Ash does really good content, and then they've got another. They've got a newcomer who I don't like so much. I think I disagree with pretty much every second thing she says, but they've got another guy who's kind of okay. I have not seen Hellraiser 3. I've only seen Hellraiser 1, and Jess is asking me. I will say, in form of a shout out to Jess today, that I did order The Conspiracy from Amazon. I over here is part of my DVD collection, so I've
sorry,
And I like to, if I pay for a movie, I want to be able to own it. I want to be able to take it to a friend's place and watch it. I want to be able to lend it to a friend if they want to watch it. So I buy physical media. That's how I consume my movies. So I have ordered from Amazon The Conspiracy, which is a film that Jess recommended to me, and I'm excited for it. It's on its way in the mail right now.
Awesome.
Gents, I need to hit the road because I have a big fish here about to give birth.
All
God,
right.
no, now. So I have got to go because
What are you
basically,
you the fucking midwife?
Yeah, right.
yes, last weekend,
Hot water.
Weekend, the other fish, she was giving birth, and I had to sit up until like 3 a.m. lying on my office floor.
No, she's not
playing on my
giving
phone.
birth, you dickhead. She's laying eggs.
No, you asshole. She's a live bearer.
She's
Live
a
bearing
live
fish.
bearer.
She's a fish, not a bear.
Like
So
She's a
okay,
fish.
so if there's an issue, what the fuck are you gonna do?
So what it is, right?
Scalpel.
This particular species, that is actually genuinely an option. But this
Actually-
particular species, the male and female, if they're separated, will the female will not give birth. She'll actually reabsorb the fry. But the problem is, very commonly, when the female gives birth, the male usually looks after the fry, so they'll end up fighting. So I have to, as soon as she drops the fry,
Okay.
I have to remove her from the
Okay,
tank.
so
Otherwise, they'll kill each other.
so I'm sorry. Why is this not a part of our live stream? Why are you leaving?
Well, it is www.onlyfans.com
Irish Demon Fish.
/
No, fuck the OnlyFans. We're
/fish
right here
birth?
right now. We're right here right now. I don't see why we can't watch your stupid fish giving birth.
I don't see why you'd want to. Jesus.
Okay,
It's at least as good as talking with you. Go on, son.
watching fish give birth.
Sorry about that.
Danny-
That was you.
All
Were
right, well, seeing-
when I was talking about stepping over the line. That was perhaps.
Seeing as how, all right, so seeing as how he's got to go watch fish porn, yes, thank you so.
Actually, it is the
aftermath
aftermath
of fish porn.
fish porn. You see, when a mommy fish and a daddy fish like each other very much. But I will update you all on the baby fish.
There's a lot of
send-
love in the chat for the fish drama.
I will update you all tomorrow on my channel, okay?
Baby shark.
Once the fish have their
baby
babies.
shark. Sorry.
Oh, no, that's going to be stuck in my head now, you asshole.
Oh, it's in my brain.
It worked.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us for another great Sunday. Thank you to everyone in the live stream for joining us. I am JL. To give you an update on what's going on with me, Johnny helped me finish my most recent video while I'm getting my office still set up. A ton of work going on in here. So that'll be dropping tomorrow. So look forward to that. Probably around noon is where I like to drop those videos off. And I have other things in the works, so I'm going to be on a kind of a Monday, Wednesday, Friday release schedule, I think is what's going to work best for me. And I'm trying to get that stuff out there. Unfortunately, no theist will take me up on any debate. So I have, everyone who said they would, then they back out the last second or they don't respond. So it's a shame. So hopefully I might be able to find someone to actually have another legitimate debate with. It's been a minute and I kind of miss it. As usual, over on Week in Horror, my other channel, we got a great month coming up. For those who aren't familiar, we're doing it. There might be some fans in the live chat. We're doing our next Bloodbath debate, which is going to be the Winchesters versus the Salvatores. Now, for those people who are fans of that, we'd really love to hear who you think will win with that, because Eugene and Alex will be debating as who would win in a fight. So we'd love to hear what you guys think about that. Got a lot of cool stuff going on. Those episodes drop on YouTube on Wednesdays, and of course, if you listen on the podcast on your favorite podcast station, those drop on Sundays. So, and as always, hit up if you want to, if you're able to, you can hit up my Patreon. We have some really cool things up for our patrons. We just changed it up and added a few more things. You can get free movies, you get early access to stuff, all kinds of cool shit. But check it out, patreon.com/weekinhorror. Helps us make a better show. And other than that, I got nothing else. And what? Apparently, Irish has got his head stuck in the fish tank.
I just got the baby out. I wanted to show Tony. Hold on. It's a boy.
Oh, that's a good one. All right.
It's the intellectual, it's the cerebral heights that this stream soars to that really draws me back.
Right.
All right.
All right, I really got to go take care of this.
All right,
Second.
thanks,
Let's give it
everybody.
10 seconds and then we'll get out of here. Ready?
Check out everybody's channels. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button. Hit the dislike if you didn't like it, or be sure to leave us a comment. And we will see you all next Sunday on
No,
Johnny's
Irish's channel.
Irish's channel.
I still don't know how that's possible because mine was 2 weeks ago and JL was 3 weeks ago.
No, it wasn't.
No, it wasn't.
Last week was PhD Tony. The week before that was me.
Oh, yeah.
And the week before that was you.
Because daylight savings time.
Yeah.
All right, see you later, guys.
See you later.
Y'all have a great one.
Take care.